A ver, estamos en directo ya. A ver, me voy a meter a Discord un momento. A ver, sí, muy bien. A ver, espera un momento. Voy a bajar esto un poco porque está muy alto. Voy a bajar esto un poco porque está muy alto. Un segundo.
Ya. Pero quitarle el volumen. Yo lo voy a ver. ¿A quién está? ¿En Marce? ¿Desde qué canal lo vas a ver? ¿De ahí? ¿Cómo se llama?
At the start of 2020, thousands of teams enter our open qualifiers, and after 8 monthly finals, 88 matches, and 843 games of Brawl Stars, just 8 teams remain. My name is Frankie Ward, and there is just one of me, but I am very excited to be here because it is time, at last, for the Brawl Stars World Finals 2020. And before we kick things off, I've got to say, I am so impressed with you guys in the community. Because when we started off this tournament, the prize pool was $500,000, which is pretty impressive in itself. But now, thanks to you guys purchasing the World Finals packs, it's now a whopping $1 million. Our top prize will be $200,000 to our champions. And then each of the quarterfinals teams we say goodbye to today will still earn $100,000. Which isn't bad, really, is it? So let's take a look at the bracket and find out who'll be facing who today. We'll be kicking things off with PSG Esports versus Nova China. Definitely a David versus Goliath matchup, which is what we love to see here on this stage. So, I think we should actually meet the teams, see how they're doing, and give them a little bit of a wave. So, let's say hello first of all to PSG Esports. It's guys, Coupe d'Ace, Response, and Rely. Hello, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. They'll be facing, of course, Nova China, who only joined the Brawl back in June, and yet quickly became the best team in their region. Captain today, Easton and Mike. Ni hao. Then our top European seed, it is Code Magic.
Yeah.
2 former world finalists in their ranks. We've got Twisty Twick, Casey, Sun Bentley, and Cursed.
No.
Hi guys. They will be facing their friends, SK Gaming. They are our 3rd placed European seed. All 3 of these guys made the World Finals in 2019. I am Skyrix, YDE, and Ashir. They're playing from the SK Gaming house in Germany. Then we have Jupiter, the team from Asia who scored more points than any other team here in this tournament during their regional finals. Ponkotsu, Hagego, Milk Rio, and Tensai.
Júpiter, cuidado.
And then from Brazil, we have INTZ, our champions of the LATAM South region. Matthias, Consti, Guido SM, and Marcel. Hola, guys. Then AC Milan Clash, our 2nd seed from the European region. I'm Yunez, Gili VGX, and
Primer
iChaos.
partido PSG
The
contra
three
ese raro.
Spaniards who have a synergy that
Ahí
is not to
están,
be
me cago en 10,
underestimated.
los
And then
españoles.
from North America and Latam North, we have Tribe Red. Corey, Tyrant Star, Super Sai, and Zulan. They had a tough start to
Payaso,
2020, but then they
mierda.
really pull things together to take the final spot in the top 8. But our first two teams are PSG Esports and Nova China. And PSG Esports, I mean, they have Coupe de Ace. He is the captain that all the other players look up to in this tournament. While
nos
Nova
dejan sus
China,
Instagrams,
they're known
¿sabes?
for being a little bit cheeky with their brawler
Para
compositions. We really
insultarle,
don't know
para
what to
insultarle.
expect from them. So instead, let's find out what the teams are thinking about this matchup.
Qué guapa está la
We do
animación.
feel very prepared to face
Nova
Nova
China contra
we are ready
PSG
to face
Esports.
any of the 8 teams. We have, well, except Nova China, analyzed a lot of the opponents, and we have done many
Fito
game strategies, and we should be ready to face any teams.
也是有这个一直在训练，就是去熟悉最近 BS Brawl Stars 的这个最新的这个阵容啊、套路啊什么的各种。
So my first feeling on Nova China is, my first impression is mysterious. I've never actually played with them or actually watched them play, but well, China is very famous in esports and they are really strong. It is their first year in competitive, but I really think that we could
si
not
acabas de ver en ese mapa
underestimate
una
them.
sec.
We will do everything that we can.
Response 他这个好多英雄都很猛哇，特别厉害。然后这个 Cop Days 的中路呢也是特别的稳健啊。然后筛也是都很稳那个英雄，然后他们的那个3位选手的这个协调啊，就是那种中路的配合啊什么的各种东西都打得特别好。
Nova China, good luck. Let us all do our best.
希望这个我们都能发挥出
pregunta importante, ¿hasta qué hora dura
最好的状态。
Porque estos son los cuartos de final.
Well, you heard it from the players themselves. A lot of respect being paid between these two teams. It is, of
Contando la
course,
finalidad.
PSG going up against Nova China in our first
Pero estos son solo los
quarterfinal
cuartos.
of our
¿Cuándo es la
World
final y
Finals
todo?
A
Mañana.
lot of respect and with very good reason, Trid.
Y la
PSG
semi,
have been
todo, la
dominating
semifinal.
all year. Nova quickly rose to the top of the ranks in China. And they are considered mysterious, as Relay said, as they've not been playing for very long. They have different strategies. And as we can see on screen right now, we've got
Dios, por ciento de baneo 23,6, chaval. Pero le nerfearon a la... Ya te digo. No, en ese mapa van a llevar Eva y una Max. Puede ser. Ya, pero los otros no la tienen baneada, solo las tiene baneada un equipo. Ah, para los dos, vale. No, poco doble tanque no, porque siempre hay una vía de medio, ya verás. Empieza el partido en 5 segundos. Ahí va, Brawl. Hostia, un poco doble tanque. Sí, pero viste cómo le llevan counter los otros, que llevan un spike ya por si acaso. Pero no le dan hecho nada, tío. Madre mía, vaya paliza, tío. Qué raro que el Carl, que el Carl ese lleve... Uf. Gol. Madre mía, qué partido.
Pokes out the super from Frank, but the rest of the team can't follow up. They're only dealing 1 kill today.
Está jugando súper agresivo el cabrón.
Will still find his mark. Rely is going to pass this off to Scythe surely, but they
La
haven't got rid
cagó.
of Mike just
La
yet.
Jackie
They're
la
going for the
cagó.
walk in. It doesn't matter if you suck them back in. They'll still find a way. First game going the way of PSG.
Scythe really taking advantage of protective pirouette there, staying alive through the super long enough to assist.
La cagó la Jackie, bro, la cagó la
Gotta
Jackie.
say, Trid, at the start of that game, I was thinking, wow, Nova China have come out swinging. But it was going to be PSG that took it down. Though, I am really excited for this series now. This is going to be much closer, I think, than we were expecting.
Yeah,
Absolutely, but it is still very early days, Dan. It could be a close series. It could continue to be a 3-0 stomp. You cannot deny that PSG are coming into this series as the favorites. So we are
Yo creo que van a seguir
igual
iguales
throughout
porque
this series. And it was a great start from Nova China to get that early goal, catch PSG off guard. But can they keep surprising them, or will PSG get the download in play, understand what they've got to do, generate a playbook, and just read it off the script?
It really looked there like Kudi Ace was barking orders at his teammates during that little replay shot that we saw. It's great to see them virtually on the stage there. Really nice setup we've got. It makes a change. We haven't seen their faces all year, so this is really nice.
Yeah, we've not had the cameras on play, but of course we have to crack them out for the World Finals, Dan. And compositional change-ups here.
Brock.
Going to bring out the Gale, Brock, and
Un Gale de lateral.
Nova China in our second game of Brawl.
Y un Gale con la de ralentizar. What the
But
fuck?
otherwise, a very similar comp to last time. And already this is looking like a nice push. Spike dealing the damage to Mike. Mike trying to dodge those spikes, staying alive, and Rely now having to retreat a little bit, waiting for teammates to respawn. Is this Nova's opportunity to get back down the map? No, Rely is not going to make life easy with the super and just the onslaught of attacks.
Just splitting the field, not allowing them to move where they want to. Great entry there by today. Scythe's going to answer back in kind onto the back.
Qué buena
The two Carls will meet, and Scythe has the overlap.
Qué buena el
The
Carl.
pirouette, Rely
Madre
with the
mía.
pass. It's center on goal, and PSG
No, ya.
get the first score once again. Well, that's actually the first time, tell a lie.
Yeah, looking good for them for the start of this game. They're managing to deal a lot
Le abre el
of damage this time
campo
around.
al-
Today,
al-
trying to dodge fire. Mike goes down already.
Lo hizo
no,
fatal,
that's a
tío.
team
¿Por
wipe,
qué
but
lo hizo
that
él?
is going to be game 2.
Vaya
For
pali.
PSG.
It is all part of course for PSG once again, and a lot of this is being decided by Scythe's Carl. It has been a powerful pick for PSG so far, and even when today switched over to the Carl to match them, not having the same impact, Scythe gets on the back line, takes out the first attack, then moves for him to help his team, clears the field, and it's just an easy super pass there for Kudi Ace to get into the back of the net.
Carl and Brock obviously both hanging out with their new gadgets. We did see Nova bringing Brock, but wasn't quite able to utilize it as well as the Carls have been. The Carl is insane now. So mobile.
Yeah, able to get into those backlines faster and make sure he's causing a lot of damage and havoc, really. And that might be a race, Dan, of what we're going to see. Who can get onto the backline the fastest, who can take out the squishier members of these teams, and then collapse into the main engagement in the mid.
That game was much faster than the first one. It seems like PSG really starting to get into their groove here. Of course, the set is not over yet. We're playing best out of 5 sets now in the global finals. So, Nova could still take this one back.
Ojo.
Here, so there we go. This is the slambulance we were talking about at the top of the series. You've got the Jackie.
Pero claro, ellos no saben.
Clearing them away. The
Ellos no
ball
saben.
open goal for them. And PSG,
La
they're
Bibi.
making this look easy, Dan. They are overrunning Nova despite their changes to match PSG's.
Y baila, tío. Y baila.
Instead, there's the aggression from today.
Dejaron al
Still
poco
very
solo.
powerful in
Eso es lo
this
que no
one.
pueden hacer
Super
nunca.
to pull them back in. Open shot on goal. Needs to get in range.
Ojo, esta la Jackie son gol.
And
Es gol.
PSG
Es gol.
will take set number 1 and an early lead in this series.
I'm sorry, Trid, but that BB was absolutely disgusting that game. Completely clearing out. No, just look at this. Charging into the goal,
Obviamente.
using the super.
La Bibi ahí, madre mía.
That was outstanding. And then obviously Rely just completely set up with an open goal there. No problems whatsoever. Okay, I may have to take back what I said about this series being closer than expected. Nova really seemed strong in the start of the first game. But I don't know, Trid. PSG are really dominating now.
They are, and I think towards the end of that one, you start to see the power of why the slambulance is so good and why a lot of teams have run it throughout the year. It's a wall of meat that runs at you and out-sustains everything you throw. If If you're looking across between most of our most picked brawlers, the common factor there is going to be the Carl, and I expect more of the same moving forward through the tournament. That recent change to him has made him a great addition. Like you said, far more mobile, able to cause more chaos than ever before. Expect to see a lot of Carl.
Worth noting as well, Trid, almost double damage dealt by PSG compared to Nova. And that could be super relevant as we move on to Shooting Star, playing some Bounty. It's all about the elims now.
Absolutely, and it's all about maintaining your life as well. If you're new to Brawl Stars, if you're not really know what's going on in competitive, Bounty's a really simple game mode. You get a kill, you get a star. Those stars stay above your head, and if someone finishes you off, they get all the stars above your head. So really, it's about getting the kills while staying alive. Now, that often leads to a lot of brawlers being picked with a little bit more range, safer picks. But we have seen teams also run the Slambulance in Bounty and go for a one-push finish. That is often the case if they run that composition. But as you can see, a lot of safety on PSG there. Brock, Bo, and I believe you got the Nanny at the back. Going to be using the Super Totem to get a safe peek off to find these kills.
La guarrilla.
Bo, Nani combo. On the other side of things, we got Piper, Tick, and Brock. So nothing too surprising from Nova here. Lots of long-range fire. Tick obviously can suppress. Piper and Brock very good at getting those eliminations. Rely there, taking out Captain very nicely, popping Brock's gadget. And yeah, Peep goes round behind. He's going to find Jay.
So it doesn't look like there's a lot going on for Coup de Ace, but it's really important once he gets those peeps online to be able to find the right target. There's a lot of evasive ability on Nova as well. You've got Brock's gadget, Piper can use the super to evade the damage as well, and you play around the tree. That's another kill going down in favor of PSG. Like I said, they're going to really struggle with this one. Captain finding a call back onto Rely is great, but they're still working at a 3-star deficit, and we're looking towards that next peep on the field.
There it goes. Is it going to hit? It looks like it is. Today goes down.
Hola.
Of course, with the auto-focus star power, Nani is basically guaranteed to one-hit KO whatever target Peep finds, at least out of these three, with the relatively low health pools.
They're not tanky enough to sustain a shot from the Peep. There's another one on the field. It's going straight in from Mike. These are just easy kills being racked up. And what's great is so much damage for
el Brock azul, el equipo azul es malísimo.
Unable to get to the backline to shut down Coup de Ace or shut down the Super Totem as well, because you can destroy that and ruin this strategy, but they can't get anywhere close.
Yeah, Mike trying to creep
Hostia, ahí le hice algo.
Boom.
Shit on.
Oh boy, and now, do you know what? Coup de Ace isn't even worrying about the super anymore, just finish the job with the attack.
Once you get to 7 stars down,
Vaya paliza. Lo que no entiendo es por qué no dejan que la Piper vaya con el Brock por el gadget y que el Brock fuera por el Bo, manteniendo distancias, y el Tick fuera todo el rato a romper la torreta. No lo entiendo. Porque yo tengo ido con el combo que iban ellos.
That was extremely one-sided indeed. Nova need to find a way of taking out this.
Es que claro, el cohete del Brock se mata de una al Tick. Eso beneficia mucho.
Very difficult for Nova as they tried to creep forward. They tried to find the Nani, but they just weren't able to get close enough.
It's going to be a huge problem for them if they don't find adaptation. Now, it does change the game a little bit if Nova decide that they also run the Nani strategy as well, because then it becomes a trading peeps and who can take out those super totems, because you only have a finite
Pero es muchísimo superior PSG.
Once you get rid of them, then you cannot run the strategy in the same way, and you force the Nani to play a little bit more forward and make themselves vulnerable to attack.
Yeah, exactly.
En Code Magic no me jodas que va a jugar Trevor. No juega Trevor. Y no se clasificaron. Hostia.
This is a single elimination tournament. They're going to get one shot at this, and they've already lost that first set. They're on the verge of losing the second. Nice change up from PSG. Mortis coming out from side
Hostia
here,
puta.
to keep themselves with the Poco and the Jackie. So it's a
Un Darryl.
and it's going to get
What?
to the back line.
No entiendo.
Brought the dowel this time, so the assassination potential isn't as high as it would have been usually.
Yeah, a little bit of a switch up there. Gonna see how this one plays out as Rely and Coup de Ace are going for it. They're playing very aggressively. Rely not slowing down, pushing all the way back to Nova Spawn, and Darryl falls. Tick's head first goes out. Rely is gonna make short work of that, and if Scythe stays alive,
El Mortis la cagó ahí fallando ese base.
He's got Mike in his face, low HP, not getting a chance to regen, but Mike can't be
¿Qué hace el Darryl?
ones in close proximity to the Rely on the Jackie and Coup de Ace on Poco. There's so much damage and sustain and tankiness super enables
Qué
Mike
bien
to
lo
get
hizo el
into
Darryl y el Morty.
That's going on. Scythe's in the back line, dashing away at these squishier members.
Worth noting as well, Mike is running Daryl's new gadget, the tar barrel, so that could be useful in slowing down certain brawlers.
Pero si
but
estos
not
ya
so
tenían
much against this squad of
de antes.
already quite close-range tanky brawlers. Scythe is
Claro.
gonna make short work of the Daryl again, and now we've got a 9-star lead for PSG once again.
Pero en China, no en
The only person
Japón.
Scythe really needs to be worried about here is Mike. Mike is the one that will not be under
Yeah, yeah.
too much threat when he goes in. But if he enters himself into a voluntary 1v3, he'll just get taken out, and it means Scythe can go on the back line and take the 1v2 himself. Scythe taking out Captain on the back
Yo
line,
no le
has the back
tengo
line
desde la vez.
today, and Reli's going to easily pick up Mike after all those abilities have been used, and he's isolated away.
El Mortis, madre mía, se está haciendo ahí unas
It's obviously a
capuchinas.
fantastic counter for Tick, as long as he can stay away from this head first. But look,
Ya
it doesn't
ganaron.
really matter anymore, as long
Que
as
si
Scythe
matan al
stays
Mortis
alive,
empatan.
which he does, that is going to be a win for PSG, and we are once again on set point.
Not really under threat there from Scythe at the end. You have Courier sitting on the super from Poco so he can get the heal. Remember, every auto attack that Scythe has is a dash, so he's able to quite easily dodge out the damage that comes out from Captain, as well as today. Rocket Rain's a little bit harder to dodge because that is a large area to encompass, but the singular shots he's going to be able to dash away just easily.
Yeah, I've got to say, Trid, things continuing to look very good for PSG. Slight change in strategy in that game.
El Scythe, este es buenísimo. Es el que me parece.
I don't know about dramatically different, because every time PSG has brought something new to the table, could they be over-engineering this and picking something that PSG is just going to end up winning at selection for? I think if you run the same composition, PSG, they're not going to know necessarily, and they may pick something different themselves that may not be as efficient. But I have a feeling at this point we're starting to see evidence here of why PSG are being touted as such a strong team from the Asia region. They're just easily adapting to everything Nova throws at them, and they're staying one step ahead. Look at this composition, really squishy.
Vea, ojo. Y un triple thrower. No lo veo. No lo veo. Es como que van triple thrower en un mapa donde hay que llevar a cojones algo de larga distancia. Llevan un Barley. Claro, el Sprout se lo come, o sea. Y claro, el Sprout es el... La cabeza.
Nova are in the lead. Scythe goes down. Now, could Ace on Sprout is actually more tanky than you think.
Yo creo que lo hicieron por vacilarnos.
Presumably the gadget that's going to heal him back up again in the
Yo no creo que un equipo competitivo se ponga ese combo.
being completely squishy, but at the moment, Nova are capitalizing, and honestly,
Lo que quieren hacer con ese combo yo creo es tener la presión. Porque con un Sprout tienes 100. Hostia, ya. Ya está. Tienen la presión de la ulti del Barley. Nada, ya está. Sí, tenía razón lo que te dije. Y claro, la Piper pensando que iban a llevar poco tanque o algo, se puso la otra habilidad estelar. ¿Cómo remontaron? ¿Qué cojones acaban de pasar? Pasaron de tener la presión a morir. ¿Qué cojones hicieron para pasar de tener la presión a morir? Pero son tontos, tío. Pasaron de tener la presión a no tener nada. ¿Qué haces? Muere. El Tick. Tienen que matar a una cojones. Nada, la Piper. Ah, que la Piper llevaba el nuevo gallo. ¿Pueden matar a uno? No. Eso les pasa por vacilones. Es que un Barley en este mapa ya me di.
I'm excited to see it. That was a very strong performance from Nova. Things got a little bit tight there when PSG were able to completely push the spawn, but they were able to clutch it out. They got that vital lead in the end. And okay, I'm a little bit more interested again now.
Oh, it's piqued your interest, has it?
Oh, yeah.
No longer going for the resident sleeper on this one. 20 seconds remaining before we jump into the next game. It could be sooner because we're at the whim of the players here, and they may want to get into this a lot faster.
A mí estos partidos no me molan. A mí me molan los de los tochos.
choices. Now, I don't see PSG running out on the triple thrower once
Joder,
again.
los
I don't
equipos
think it
touch.
works out for them. I see them reflecting to something a little bit more rounded than
Obvio.
tumbling in on that one aspect of the game.
But as you said before, PSG, very versatile. They can play a lot of different brawlers, a lot of different comps very well. And I never really know what to expect coming in next. With only one ban on each team, with 40 brawlers in the game right now, there are a lot of possibilities. And I'm looking forward to seeing how they
Se
handle
van
this.
a,
It's going to be
se van a
back to square
poner
one, though. It's gonna be Brock, Bo, and Nani for PSG.
This time around, Nova have a good answer.
que están haciendo la de Nani otra vez, para asegurar. Pero
Pero
es para asegurar ya. Porque antes lo que te dije, como si hiciera... Aposta no, pero en plan, para vacilar.
Captain goes down though, so that is a lead for PSG. They've managed to push back the Mortis as well. And
Es que el Mortis
falls
no puede hacer.
too. This is not good. Nova need to be right up in PSG's faces if they want a chance to win that.
Ah, él tiene que tanquear el Mortis.
The
Perfecto.
beat, because he has got the health pool to survive that attack. Really nice strategy here from Nova.
Because Bounty is so swingy, Dan, Nova can lose a few stars here. This means getting the peeps off the field by taking out the super totem.
No podía tanquear el Mortis.
Unified, find the super totem, remove that from
Dios,
the
cómo
field,
esquiva,
and
bro.
play more aggressively. So today can play sweet
Cómo
on this one.
esquiva, bro.
Another tank coming in. Luckily, Captain 40 HP survived.
A 40 de vida.
What's going on? Mike shouldn't be pushing
Ya me
the
jodería a
attack
mí.
on the other two
Mira el
teams.
Brock del
Makes
equipo
them
de la,
vulnerable to get
del
pushed, and it
PSG.
extends this lead for PSG. They are not adequately dealing with the peak. And Captain,
¿Pero qué es? ¿El equipo oficial del PSG? ¿El equipo de fútbol? ¿Cómo que no? No llevan su equipación. Van a matarlo. ¿Quién mataron al bro? ¿Qué hace? Pero ¿qué hace el bo?
And things are looking pretty dire for Nova.
Le
now,
faltó
like you
poco.
said. Second set seems like it's going to be ending. Mike falls to Brock's gadget.
¡Dios! El nuevo gadget de Brock. hostia.
I don't think there is.
Por eso se está utilizando tanto Brock, tío. Por el gadget.
Yeah.
Speedrunning the generation of these peeps. And with that 15-star deficit, they
Yeah.
need to close. 2 seconds remaining. The kill onto Rely is meaningless.
¡Dios!
PSG will take set number 2 as they head towards match point.
I will say, Trid, there were some plays that I really did like from Nova's game there. I liked when the Brock pushed forward, took the peep shot and survived with 40 health. Again, taking advantage of the fact that if you tank that thing sooner rather than later, you take less damage, and was able to just about engineer it so he stayed alive. Again, the block from today we just saw a moment ago, that was nice as well, but ultimately, it was a strategy that they just were not able to deal with. And we're going to move on to Heist next, and we'll have to see if they have a little bit more luck in this game type, because otherwise, it will be their last of this tournament.
Remember, they will walk away with $100,000 guaranteed for being one of the top 8 teams in the world.
How bad is it?
Not bad at all. Not bad for one game of Brawl Stars. Well, it's not one game of Brawl Stars.
whole year of Brawl
It's been an 8-month journey to get to this point. But ultimately, let's take a look at some
Much
stats.
closer damage-wise.
Nova China, they've running out on the compositions. For 3 out of 4 of their games, they played the same brawlers into this one. PSG showing a little bit more variety, but of course, their most dominant performance definitely came out when they were using the bow and the Nani combo. It's just so potent. I thought Nova China had the tools to deal with it that time around, Dan, with the Mortis, but unfortunately, they were only able to take out one of the 3 potential super totems. Kaboom Canyon, our next stop, like you said, a heist game mode. And we're wondering what they're going to roll out on this one, because we've seen a lot recently. Before we saw a bunch of Gale nerfs, a bunch of tankier brawlers.
¿Qué pasa ahí?
with the
Da
strength
atraco.
platform to
Hostia.
get onto the
O sea
safe
que si
lot
ganan
faster
atraco ya
and
ganaron,
just
¿no? El partido.
rush the safe. Not going to
Bueno,
be
lo
quite
que-
as powerful
lo
seeing
que-
as Gale has recently been reduced in power.
Yeah, I mean, Gale Spring doesn't
¿Qué
go as
equipos
far as it
quedan
used to.
quedan
It's
así menos
not
conocidos?
what it used to be.
Aparte
I'm
de estos.
excited to see what comps we'll get here. Again, you typically do tend to see the ones that do a lot of damage, the Brocks, the Spikes, the Carls, and it's going to be Brock Pam Carl
Rife.
for PSG.
Tripe
Is it
Clash.
Crow?
Hostia
That is a
puta,
Crow in the
tío.
World
Qué
Finals,
cabrón.
a brawler that we don't see a lot
¿Tú sabes el daño que quita Creo
We're gonna be
si,
looking to see
si
what
se lanza
Mike
encima
can
de la
do
casa?
against a more meta composition. This is exactly the kind of stuff
Nunca he
that
visto un Crow en atraco.
China, though, Dan, we talked about how they're a bit of a wild card. They play off meta. Crow is certainly that.
Crow is
Yo en competitivo
extremely
tampoco vi
off
nunca.
meta, about as off meta
Pero
as
yo
you
qué
can
sé,
get. But let's see what
si
Mike
se
can
les
do
da
here.
bien, pues
Dodging the
joder.
rockets pretty well so far, staying alive, pushing forwards. Today, with
Pero
the Carl
velocidad
Canyon, he's gonna find
rápida.
himself in the center of the map, but Rely
Carl, motivación máxima. Lo penoso es que le sale bien, ¿sabes? Nah, ya está. Tienen la presión. Ahora tienen que hacerlo bien para tener ahí la presión. Pero vamos a estar haciendo daño. Madre mía. Es que el Carl ese es buenísimo, bro. ¿Cuántas copas lo subió? Rango 35 mínimo. Que 2500 copas. Es consciente de lo que acabas de decir. 2000 y pico, pero que el récord no son 2500. ¿Qué tiene 0 copas con el Carl? Cuenta secundaria. ¿Y por qué solo hay 18.000 espectadores? ¿Por qué solo hay 18.000 espectadores? Hola. Foxy. 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 ¿Por qué no hablaba? Putilla. ¿Y por qué solo hay 18.000 espectadores? Son poquitos. Le dan con el mismo combo, ojito. Hostia, mira que llevar una Amber con lo nerf que está. Es muy arriesgado.
Vale, mejor. Tenía el micrófono silenciado.
Eres puto retrasado.
Vale.
Madre mía, el pavo este con Carl. ¿Quién es? Si no es humano.
What? Lambert. A ver, Amber es buena para atraco. No llega a tener el nerf y Amber revienta cabezas.
Yeah. Pero ¿quién está en el directo?
Vale, en teoría esto, el sonido ya está solucionado, ¿eh? Sí, me escuchas bien.
Sí, sí.
No te...
Pero ¿quién está en el directo?
Aquí,
La fama esa del otro día que
alguien
está.
2020 LOL. XD.
Dile que se suscribe. Suscríbete, pinche puto.
Yo no lo estoy diciendo, ¿eh? Yo no lo estoy diciendo.
Sí que lo está diciendo.
Amber muerta. El Darryl muere. El Carl está tocadísimo. Ulti. La PAM no le deja curarse. Casi pega el... Nah, la torre ya estaba.
Ya está, ya está.
La torre ya estaba antes de que se tirase el cohececito. El cohetito.
Y primer de atrás.
No, sí, era primero.
Si te das cuenta, Nova solo ganó la partida en la que vacilaron los otros. No sé si es por los combos o porque no entrenaron nada.
No, a ver, entrenar... Yo no es por defenderlos, pero entrenar... Yo creo que entrenar muy poquito, o también al ser... Al juego llevar menos de medio año en la Play Store de China, a ver, no se aprende a jugar en medio año así bien a nivel competitivo.
¿Y cómo llegaron a la puta final?
Pues será porque en China todos eran malísimos, ¿sabes? Y ellos que por lo menos destacaban algo más se clasificaron. ¿Qué quieres que te diga? Voy a ver un momento.
¿Pero qué eso que va? ¿Por país? ¿Por continente? ¿O qué lo que?
Esto va por continentes.
Les copiaron el combo, tío.
¿Qué?
¿Qué copiotas? Esos son los típicos bancos que le ganas con un combo y después te lo copian todo acá. Sí, son los chinos, te copian.
Side se cuela con la Bibi. Side se cuela con la Bibi.
¿Pero por qué no le mató?
Bueno, el poco solito no se puede hacer una pub y un carro.
¿Pero qué hacen? ¿Por qué los dejan solos?
Ni idea. Esto es partida. A ver,
Sí,
dejáis a un poco solo contra una pam y un Carl. A ver.
Tenía que haber subido solo el Darryl, que es el que más daño hace por segundo.
Ya. Y el Darryl, yo no sé qué estuvo haciendo arriba. A ver, estuvo pegando un poco ya. Ah, vale, porque murió. Murió y salió ya abajo al final. Bueno. A ver, si lo hacen así de nuevo, yo ahora creo que será un mirror match.
Yo creo que no se la va a jugar. Van a llevar el mismo combo que el del principio para ya ganar el partido.
A ver, yo también creo. Yo también lo que creo es que ahora va a ser un mirror match. Porque si a China le funcionó bien ese combo, a PSG yo creo que también. ¿O no?
Y lo que dije, hay un chino en el directo y me lo escuchó.
Los dos rompen los muros. Ahora es un mapa, viste, el mirror match.
¿Ves? Lo sabía.
Pero
¿por qué van los Cars con los Brocks, tío? Que ahí es el que mejor lo haga. No entiendo.
Ya, aquí sinceramente es el mejor el que lo haga mejor. Mike muere. Primera ulti a la caja. Cup de Ash se pega a la caja para pegarle el mayor daño posible.
Madre mía, lo que le han quitado.
Cerca
50%.
de unos 3360 a la caja le hizo. Unos 3000 de vida le hace pan. Si se queda ahí.
Es que el Carl es buenísimo.
Pero
¿quién es
sí,
ese Carl?
sí, sacó doble ulti.
¿Quién es ese Carl?
Sí, sacó doble ulti,
¿Pero
tío.
quién es
Sí,
ese?
sacó doble ulti.
¿Pero quién es ese pavo? No es humano, no es humano.
Se sacó doble ulti un par de veces, tío. Doble ulti.
Pero que es el mejor Carl del mundo, el pavo ese, fijo.
A ver, como que lo subió a 2000 copas.
Por eso.
Sí, el sol. Bueno, subió el Carl a 2000 copas, ¿qué te esperas?
Le quitaron tanto daño al principio porque el Brock le dio con todos los cohetes de la ulti. ¿Code Magic contra quién?
Mira, aquí el que está.
Esos ya están eliminados.
Sí. El que estaba a la izquierda, el que estaba más cerca de la cámara, sacó captura, si te fijaste bien.
Sí.
Si te fijas bien, se ve que saca captura. Vale. Pues
dándole una paliza a unos chinos de mierda.
a ver. ¿Qué dice ahora?
Just going to call you the Footman, and what a
Oh,
sterling
Magic.
job you did at the first quarterfinals. Thank you so much, boys.
¿Qué cojones?
Oh my god, though. That last set left me a little
Pensé
bit
que habían metido un
breathless,
anuncio y
so
se me paró la
right
tele.
now, I'm going to send things over to another man
Vale,
who
lo estás
leaves
viendo
us
de la
all
tele.
breathless in this community.
amigo.
We're
Claro.
so grateful that he's able to join us
¿Y
today.
dónde quieres que lo
I
vea?
am, of
Paso de
course,
ir a verlo
talking
en el
about Woody,
ordenador.
Woody. Are you in your box?
Mola más en la tele.
I am flying in like El Primo
Uno
ready to
rango
drop an elbow
35
on his world
pro.
finals
Volando
ring.
como el
Yeah.
primo,
Well, we're
pero.
so glad that you've sailed in.
¿Quién es ese
And I have a
zumbao?
feeling, I think I know who you're picking
Es
as the
otro caster.
MVP. Because there was one brilliant backliner who
Es
managed to
verdad.
take things almost single-handedly for his team at the end of that one.
Interesting. Well, you know, I've
¿Viste el
got
pavo
a
que
bit
se
of an
subió a Pro
interesting pick
rango
on my own.
35
Might
fuerza
throw a
1?
few surprises out there, but I was keeping a close eye on that last last match. And my most valuable player from that last round is none other than Scythe. Scythe put the win in Whirlwind as Carl in Brawl Ball with perfect positioning of his protective pirouette. That super got massive value multiple times. Aggressive demolition with gorgeous gadget use, as you see in multiple goals back-to-back in the early set there. He was fantastic also as BB in multiple different rounds. Even though he went down a time or two, taking 2-to-1 advantages is exactly what he needed to get that early lead. In Bounty, Coup to Ace was a shining star with Nani's autofocus barrage, sending Peep in deep. But Scythe held the front line as Bo and then showed incredible versatility as Mortis. His double kills made him the amazing assassin, and even with a little bit of triple thrower trepidation in game 2, they still pulled it back for an incredible finish. Finally, his flying hook in Heist was the perfect conclusion. Even in game 2 mirror match up against Mike playing as Carl as well, Scythe held a firm upper hand in multiple encounters.
He was absolutely fantastic. I have to say though, Rely won my heart for the most enthusiastic player. I could watch his player cam all day. Woody, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you after the next final. Right, well, this is a world final, and I have to say, we couldn't be here without the support of our fantastic sponsors, and our first one is
No, el de Clash, fuera del direct. Ahora vais y se van todos.
Looking for a gift to blow your rivals away?
What?
Well, sweetie, this one takes the biscuit. A sugar and spice hamper. Lovingly filled with...
Metieron un anuncio en serio, tío.
Act fast. You never know when it's gonna blow. Piper's Bakehouse. Making bombastic baked goods since 2018.
La pastelería de Piper, no, tío.
I've actually arranged for a delivery of Piper's Treats to arrive at the desk shortly. Eat up, boys.
Escuchas,
Right now,
Foxy.
let's take a look at the bracket and see where we're
Intenta
at
hablar.
first quarterfinal. So, PSG
Yo a ti te escucho,
a spot in the semi-finals. Nova China, sadly, we say goodbye to them.
A ver,
Fantastic
ahora va.
for them here
God
at
Magic
Brawl Stars
contra
World
SK
Finals.
Gaming.
And next up, we've got a European derby
se viene,
because it's
se viene.
Magic versus SK Gaming. We'll take a look at the rosters to remind you of the big players on that one. Twisty Trick, of course, used to be part of SK Gaming. So I'm really excited to see how this matchup goes. I have a feeling it's going to be a very close one indeed.
Curse, Twisty Twig, Zumbelli y KC.
En serio, tengo vídeo en el canal.
Ah, pero el otro es el equipo de ID retrasado.
Sí.
Joder, no me lo dijiste.
¿Quién te creías que era? Mira, yo tuve que luchar contra SS en agosto. Yo tuve que luchar contra SK en agosto. La reventada que nos dieron. No, contra SK. Tengo vídeo. Nos reventaron, pero vivos.
Normal.
Nos reventaron vivos.
Skyrim, chaval, ese pavo es buenísimo.
En verdad, entre los tres es el que más suele carrilear, ¿eh? A ver, tampoco estoy diciendo...
Yo al Zumbelli este le gané yo. Iba con KC.
Hopefully catch them off guard with some new strategies. We are friends with all the SK players, so we know.
Pensar que el competitivo de Brawl Stars iba a llegar tan lejos.
I hope we're gonna give a great show.
Y que no iba a estar yo en él, eso tampoco.
My goodness me, PSG was so dominant today, and no doubt many more exciting games to come. Code Magic versus SK
Ahora va y
Gaming.
le dice un enfermo a otro, en vez de ver las finales y todo, vamos a
Right here and
El café estaba ahí de chill, como que no quiere la cosa.
Es gay.
Fantastic teams have been facing off against
Es bro.
all year, and it's always
Genio
been
y
close.
Max.
We've got Gene and Max.
Hostia puta, es que ¿por qué banean siempre Max? Porque está más rota que
I mean, this is what I'd
porque
consider
aún sigue
pretty
estando
normal,
rota,
personally.
Menos que antes.
Que no adivinas, ¿a qué no adivinas? Porque Code Magic le quitó el genio a ellos, a todos.
Porque Skylix es buenísimo. Skylix ya sería buenísimo con... espera. Que voy a entrar en el juego para ganarme el ping. Ahora que lo dijeron XD.
Le quitaron la match a Curse porque es el mejor del mundo con match.
A ver, voy a ver voy a entrar al directo de este, pero desde el juego para ganarme el ping.
Ese mapa van a llevar Rosa de lateral, Rico de lateral y de medio Piper o Genio.
And with Gene Ban, things get interesting here. We've been talking about this a lot over the last few days. Gene, the ideal gem carrier. Well,
acá adiviné el combo de uno o de dos.
No, van Brock, Piper, Sprout, KC. Sprout. A ver, el primero va con Magic, KC, Sanbendi y Twisted. Bueno, ya lo ves ahí.
Acaba de empezar justo ahora, ¿no?
No, llevan tiempo,
And Surge on the other. Obviously,
llevan
Piper
tiempo.
for both teams. Piper's going to be the gem carry here, taking control of the middle, blowing up the opponent's defenses when they get the chance.
¿Cuántas gemas hay en el medio?
A ver, aquí en el directo. Ahí ya van 8-0, aquí 9-0.
Aquí me va a decir 0.
No te lo digo.
Pretty soon.
XD.
Meanwhile, Sun Bentley though, gathering the gems. That is 7 with the 8
me parece que
sight. Going to be able to grab that quite nicely.
Yo voy viendo aquí.
Es que está claro que va a ganar Code Magic por el tema de que juega son muy.
A Chile también es buena Piper,
Da igual, son Belly es mejor.
A ver. Skyrix nos fue con Surge cuando nos reventaron y fue el que se hizo la jugadilla.
There's a super. Casey goes down. The timer has been reset, and Bentley falls too. This game has been blown open.
Se llevan una gema.
9 gems now for Code Magic.
Se recuerda que para que el equipo que tenga 15 gemas ya gana el partido. O sea, ya gana la partida. Aquí ya está Tony. El equipo que consiga 15 gemas ya gana la partida.
Si te fijas, el Brock lleva la de 4 cohetes.
Sí. A ver, porque es uno más de munición que te puede salvar.
Se están riendo por ese puto de Code Magic.
But ultimately they were able to take it back, and honestly, things are looking pretty good for Code Magic based on that.
Ojo, el Matrix que se hizo ahí de momento.
Ya. Skyrix está en plan.
Mira,
¿Qué he hecho yo para merecer eso?
San Bentley está ahí. Vamos, está de chile en el sofacito.
Véteme diciendo cuánto tiempo le queda para empezar el partido.
10 segundos.
Véteme diciendo. ¿Cuánto? Pero véteme diciendo.
Ya está. Ya está el partido. San Bentley tira un tiro a la pared que tiene detrás.
Vale, ya me va bien, ya me va bien.
Vale, mira, aquí van a...
Están de medio la...
Vale, la Piper muere.
Vale, sí.
San Bentley casi muere también.
Sí, casi muere, ya me va bien. Me da perfecto.
Ahí se queda a 1008 de vida en el equipo en el lado contrario. Se lleva un tiro de San Bentley. Yo no sé por qué no se ve. Ah, bueno.
Después de esta partida me voy a hacer el desayuno. Pero, o sea, me lo pongo, vuelvo y voy a por él. Hostia, el tiro que le
Yeah,
metió a
it
Chile.
seems like SK are starting to get some sort of
Skyrex.
control. But Casey
Dios,
coming out of nowhere, going to get those
Yo hoy
eliminations.
no sé a
And
qué
once
vino
again, Code
el
Magic
gadget
are
de
in
aire.
charge. They just need one more gem, but it's not going to spawn in time, and they
buena
are
ulti.
going to get pushed back just that little bit.
Se reventó la Piper
Popping the
solito,
gadget,
pero
is gonna
de la
grab
nada.
that last gem, and they are set to
Nada, es
win
que el
this
Pretty
one
Trick es
again.
buenísimo.
Yeah, nice pick up
A
there
ver,
from
estuvo
Twisted Sword, getting
top
10 gems.
mundial como
Casey
5
was gonna be
temporadas.
aggressive here. It's going to be a really important play and already shutting down
Hace
Skyrex
tiempo,
on that left-hand side. SK are
Cuando
so busy with
aún el
Casey.
top estaba
They can't get to the
en
gems. Whitey tries to go
17.000,
for it, but it's
por
not
ahí.
going to be enough time.
Nunca esté
Another
defendiendo
game in the
doble
bag
con Rock.
for Code Magic.
Code Magic really
Y de hecho creo que fue el primero en llegar a 30.000 copas.
Set of this match. I've got to say, I am a
Porque
little
Code Magic, tío, si pudiera quedar
Code
eliminado
Magic
ahora sería
have had
mejor.
very comfortable control throughout both of these games, and really, SK aren't even
Ah,
able to
sinceramente,
take an
entre-
inch.
Yeah, I
Magic
feel like for me,
y este.
SK needs to be more
Family looks
aggressive.
A ver,
Very
porque
cozy.
con el
Sun
Magic también ganó todas las finales
That looks
mensuales.
very comfortable.
Sun
Y
looks
claro,
like
Code
he's
Magic
aged a
juega
couple of
contra
years,
tres
like
que están,
an old man in his prime,
Tom
just
está,
very
¿no?
relaxed and comfortable at
Yeah.
home. You love to see it. Some
¿viste el nuevo nombre que se puso
faces
Clash?
on
AQM.
SK Gaming, some thrilled and excited
es
faces on
AC
Code Magic, but
Milan
there's still
Clash.
so much more left to play. It is far from
Porque
over.
Clash,
Plenty can be done to turn
hay
this one around.
varios, es
But
el
we
Clash
are
de
not gonna
Italia,
have to
porque
wait
Clash
up
es propio de
as
Italia.
game number 3
luego
is
Clash
just
Spain.
about to start. Is
En el que
this
están
set going
Guillermo
to be
unificados.
a sweep?
Y en el
From
que estaba
Code
Trevor.
Magic? It is time to find out.
Yo creo que
I'm nervously looking
ojalá
around
gane Clash.
because Frankie did mention that she ordered some of Piper's baked goods, and I'm not
Buah,
feeling
yo por
so
cada
good
kill
about
que
that.
se haga Clash yo voy a estar gritando.
I mean,
Ahí
we've got
como
some
la final de
fantastic
España.
sponsors for this World Finals. I mean,
tres de-
we're really privileged to have such amazing support from the world of Brawl. And we are
Creo que se
gonna see
ponen un
Shield
poco
here,
fam,
as Shield is going to come in with Poco,
A ver,
Skyrex
es un
with
combo.
Pam, the double hill mid approach, but
Olvida lo que
cannot
dije.
wait to get stuck into an already
Nah,
a
que está
takedown,
de-
leaving
a
a Shield
a
on his own.
Chile
White
se
in the
fue muy
nice
directo
spot
a atacar y
down the bottom left,
no.
putting pressure
Se olvidó
on
más
the
de curar a la
Magic
roja.
squad.
Casey gonna reduce Whitey's health by
Ojo, y de que
a lot,
bien lo
though.
ha hecho.
And once
Yeah.
again, Code Magic seems to have gotten control of the center. Twisty Trick with the gadget, gonna just take
Brilliant.
Pam
A
out.
Chile curando a-
Brock
a Ide.
feels so powerful right now.
Oh,
Pero-
Is in a great
Pero no se
place
están dando
for
cuenta.
sure, and I'm surprised that SK haven't kind of
Hostia.
considered it themselves
Pero no se
as
está
well,
dando
because Carl is
cuenta
fantastic as well.
SK
Gil can be
que lo que está
on
fallando es que llevan
a
un Brock y no
fantastic
lleva nada que le haga
position to
counter al
gadgets.
Brock.
However, Twisty's got that capability
No
to
sé.
break open bush, and that is so important in Hard Rock
O
Mine.
sea,
But
si no
now,
lleva nada que
SK
no le haga,
on the push
que no le haga
and Code
counter al
Magic push
Brock.
back.
Con el nuevo gadget es
Code
que se
Magic
coma
got
todos los
plenty of
rounds
time,
del
they've got
juego,
the gem
tío.
lead.
Si no
Look,
lleva
Shell
un
is just going for it though. He's like, I want those gems, Twisty Twitch. KC is going
poco
to shut that
no-
attempt
no
down, but
muere.
KC falls.
Dios.
A Chile no
And
muere.
SK.
Le está,
Ese
está
mata.
metiendo
This is what I
muchísima
wanna
presión,
see.
chaval.
Yeah, but now
A
Twisty
ver,
breaking
en
open
verdad
his
es
own
comp-
defense. Whitey going
se
in
veía
for
venir
a
con
fight,
el
trying to get
pop.
the job done, but Nick Samuels shut it down. Three
Y de-
gems in his pockets.
y de que se ya-
Jump away
¿Por qué no lo
now.
curaste,
So much of the map is open. Sun can now
Tenía
start
la
to
ulti a
thrive
Chile
here.
y no
A
le
Chile
pudo.
muere.
Twisty is breaking the map to their
Chile muere.
favor here.
Skyrex
Yeah,
se
SK were
cura.
looking good for a second. They're still
8-6.
not too bad. They've got the gem lead.
Nah,
Neither
y
team
de
has
buenísimo
defensive
con Carl
control of the
también.
center. Whitey
Ah,
is
yeah.
going to be able to snag that gem.
También
If
lo
they get
subió
one
Carl.
more and he can use his gadget to escape, SK might be able to get this one. There you go.
Nah, que hace
10
que hace.
gems. The super gets Whitey out of there. And
Hace que
now
llevas una
SK
forma.
just need to stay alive. Skyrex.
Oh,
He goes down.
casi. Vale.
Skyrex goes down is crucial,
A Chile
but
se
now
mata
the
Twisty.
countdown is still
Esto
in
ahora es
motion.
mantener las
But
gemas.
Vamos, SK,
just saved
hostia.
by Code Magic, but can they now
Ahora
push
quiere
the spawn?
mantener las
Casey
gemas
going in,
y-
but few cheeky hits on
y ya
Whitey.
está.
It's gonna be tight, Falcone.
Vamos, que tenéis
It's
que
so
ganar, ¿no?
tight, but I think SK is
Nah,
still in a
GG.
live arc, and they
Ya
are going to
está.
win their first
Buenísima,
game of
SK.
this series.
Madre mía, qué
SK
partida.
showing that they have still got a lot of fight in them.
Mira con qué
This
cara.
set is not over yet.
Far from over. I love to see some versatility, some changing. That is
Es
what's
que-
so great when it comes
Ah,
to SK
ahí el
gaming.
picotazo
They are very,
que
very
le
good at
dio
switching things up, being
Aida
unpredictable.
a San
And now,
Bentley
how are they going to
fue
take these
buenísimo.
learnings on board going into this
pero
next
que se
game
dejó de
of
manipular,
Gem
de
Grab? Are they going to
manipular.
keep the same comp? Are they going to keep the same
Yeah.
aggressive spawn trap style? These
Ellos
are the questions I
piensan
have
que
in
son
my
los,
mind now.
los
Well, switching things up last time.
Vuelvo
ahora.
SK really paid off, but I'm wondering how Code Magic are going to adapt to that. Are they going to continue switching things up? again, with only 2 bans and 40 brawlers in the game, there are a lot of possibilities.
Al parecer Guille va a estar así en una silla delante de una pared o algo.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I've got to say though, SK Gaming do look a little bit more under pressure. I would say Code Magic definitely seem to be a little bit more relaxed.
Con Colette ahora.
Definitely
Ahora van los dos equipos con Colette.
Coming in, like you rightly say,
Ahora, en verdad puedo entender la Colette simplemente por el tema de debilitar. Ahí la kill que se hace Ide.
Now. Yeah, Twisty Twig with the elimination on Skyrix as well means that Code Magic are going to get control. Some Bentley destroying the enemy cover.
Ide aquí tiene la presión ganada.
It's going to close in on Piper and get the elimination.
Se la llega a sacar y flipo.
To take him out.
But now Casey forced to pick up the gems, and that's not ideal really.
Se pilla las gemas con la
Magic, and that's the thing. Casey probably looking for a good, generous opportunity to go down and swap them back to Sun, which after wait and see Sun goes down. Now this is much better from SK starting to get into the swing of things. Twisty falls.
A Chile deja tocadísima a la Colette.
The gems are now tied, but SK full mid control.
Twisty Twig está muerto, al igual que Skyrix. Si a Chile tiene el nuevo gadget, se podría haber matado a la Piper. Están metiendo ahora presión.
Yeah, I would agree with that for sure. Shilho is a very accomplished Piper, and they're going to go with that for the mid-range and those homemade recipe gadgets as well.
Está muy tenso esto. 7-7 en el mercado, 8-7 para Code Magic. Ide está una ulti de Casteando de morir. Y Skyrix se tira, no se sabe bien por qué. Ahí se mata a la...
Creo que me estoy perdiendo, la partida más interesante.
Sí. 9-9. Van 9-9 en el marcador.
¿Y por qué llevan los dos equipos Colette?
No sé. Ahora tendrían que pillar otra gema más. ¿O no?
Vuelvo ahora que voy a...
Sí. Vale.
Ya.
No, aún no ganaron. Si matan a la Colette, si matan a la Colette, casi. Ide tiene 10 gemas, no se puede arriesgar.
Skyrix, no tarde.
A ver, tendrían que pillar ahora 2 gemas y morir. Ide está a un cuetazo grande de... Vale, 13 gemas. Con que pillen 2 más, el equipo que las mantenga
la mejor
gana.
Si
Si ahora SK pilla otra gema más... Vale, ahora solo tienen que mantener. Si mantienen, ganan. Porque no salen más gemas. Vale, GG SK. GG SK. Qué partidazo, tío. Qué partidazo.
Y ganan gemas.
Qué partidazo SK. Buenísima.
Vamos, hostia, bien SK, bien. Vaya partidaza me debí perder.
Es que te la perdiste. A ver. Twisty Twig le hizo un pedazo de predica aquí a Skyrix, pero vamos. San Bentley ahí decepcionado. Última partida de gemas. Quien gane se lleva el set.
Foxy ya volví con mi leche. Pero ¿por qué van 2-2? ¿No dijiste que si tal que ya ganaba? No, me has mentido.
Que si ganaban 2 gemas más, ganaban la partida.
Claro, porque es de una diferencia de 2 gemas.
Última partida de gemas. Llevan un mirror match.
Llevan los mismos combos, pero yo creo que ID es mejor que KC.
ID contra KC en Carl, yo creo que es mejor ID también. A ver, KC está un golpe. Se tira.
Ojo,
Se puede venir se vino la triple. Se vino la triple.
La triple de ID. Te dije que era bueno.
Ambas colets llevan la primera stop power. Muy mala ulti de Skyrix. Hola. Literal. Skyrix le hizo. Hola, Piper. ¿Qué tal? 9-1 ya. Ya van 9-1. Con que ese capillo una gema y la mantenga, ya lo tiene. Se pillan la gema. Ahora, si mantienen, ganan el set.
Ojalá.
Echad fuera del trono a Cod Magic. Echad fuera del trono a Cod Magic. Ojo, buena. Buenísima. Set para SK. Set para SK. Demostrar que Cod Magic no es el mejor equipo. Todo va MA.
They can be very, very proud of that performance, but it is far from over. Code Magic have got every chance to start to collect themselves back together
Ya te
again.
dije que se caga, cuidado.
I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones. This one is going all the way to set 5. But before we get to set 5, let's look at some stats.
A ver, SK están juntos los tres.
Than SK did, and in total had more gems.
Ya, pues mira el daño que hizo Codem.
That's not what's important in gem grab.
Yeah.
Of course, and that's a very, very high scoring gem.
¿Y cómo cogió más temas?
Really, like almost 100 gems for Code Magic
Porque
there.
es
So really
dependiendo de si pillas gemas, aunque luego las pierdas. Si pillas gemas te cuenta, ¿sabes? Pero luego las pierdes.
Vale, vale.
A ver, aquí que como ves, yo veo una B aparte.
Venir poco doble tanque
o poco doble tanque o genio vea.
No, que hay poco doble tanque, que uno de ellos lo va a llevar. El otro equipo va a llevar clasifico. Vea, Spike.
A ver, un Barley tiene que venir, hay mucha cobertura. Un Brock también para romper cobertura a rivales. No sé. El Brock.
Pues a ver quién es Anuel.
SK va con ID. SK va con ID, no. ID va con Mortis. Y ya meten un gol a los 15 segundos. A los 15 segundos ya meten un gol.
¿Cómo marcó?
Ni idea.
Con Mortis y de están tumbadísimos. ¿Qué cojones está pasando? ¿Cómo marcaron gol? ¿Cómo fue? No lo vi.
A KC le llega a salir el trickshot y vamos.
No. Save! Oh, that was insane. Very fortunate timing. Now the ball, top right corner of the map. Twisted to accept.
Se mata a ID, pero porque el gadget hizo la mayoría, en verdad. Sam Bentley se queda a 112.
I gotta say, B is a very, very smart pick with that gadget rattle tide that Casey is running here. Very, very
reventada.
SK Gaming from a lot of this defensive cover, and also his shots are really going to pack a sting on tanky brawlers like Star playing Jackie, and obviously Whitey getting too close to Casey could spell disaster for SK Gaming.
Nice little elimination from YDE there. Finding himself in a pretty awkward position for Code Magic. Gonna take out KC as well.
¿Quién se esperaría que en la final, en los cuartos de final de un mundial sin
But well, actually, no, they don't. If SK don't score again, that's fine.
Incluso se podría ver tranquilamente una serie. La doble de ID. La doble de
Madre mía, Ido.
maximum pressure, and Twisty can only go into the corner and start
Casi
shaking
se hace la
in his
triple con
boots.
las
40 seconds. If SK Gaming can just hold this
Kairi
spawn trap,
se mata
they're
a
going to
Café.
take the first round of Brawl.
Carl's attack is just so
muere.
wide and hard to dodge.
Todo el
SK,
equipo
all
rojo
three
muerto.
members alive.
Ah, vale,
They
se
don't
está
have
manteniendo.
Salir de la
control. It's
presión.
going to
No
take
pueden
Code
salir de la
Magic
presión.
such a
No,
long
a ver,
time to get past this wall.
Tienen la
That is
presión y
SK
la
this
pelota está en el
game.
equipo
I don't
en
think
el lado
they'll be able to
contrario.
do it.
No, Code Magic had a great run of things.
Salvo que SK lo haga muy mal.
But now, this is a great chance if Sun can get into the ball here. Scarix is shutting it down so well. That's the thing with Jackie. When in those places, it's very hard to get out. That is a great start to Brawl Ball from SK Gaming.
Absolutely, just a very well, carefully controlled game. Well, after the first few seconds. I wouldn't say the first few seconds were carefully controlled. That was just chaos. Well, chaos for Code Magic, but very nicely scored from SK. The rest of the game was all about playing defense. That's it.
I think that possibly there, maybe Casey could have walked a little bit further, maybe baited widely to go for some damage potentially. It was a bit of a tough one to call, and but I think just as there was only one brawler on the opposition, it could have been maybe a more advantageous spot to try to get closer. But
he doesn't have a huge health pool though, right? So it's a bit of a risky one. I guess when it's Mortis
Sanbendi está diciendo,
to attack and then
le estamos jugando fatal.
Why is a very accomplished
Es que en verdad con Magic lo está jugando fatal, ¿o no crees?
Fatal.
No están dando el nivel que tienen.
Y SK genial.
SK está dando más del nivel que tienen.
Que no se olviden que SK genial. Así que... Y ahora ellos están desanimados, ya no van a jugar.
No, a ver, acción pueden ganar, Mira,
no entiendo la vea.
Se mataron a prácticamente el poco dobletán de la nada.
Porque yo... una coleta. Y la hace contra la Jackie y al Car. Y al Poco.
Solo queda el Poco y el Car. Que Ides se muere. Esto tiene la presión ganada. El gol. Ide se come. No sé si era un platique el de San Bentley o qué era. Pero se comió mucho.
Nada, ya está. ¿De qué se ríe el puto gordo ese?
Pues no sé, supongo que se hicieron la partida en un minuto.
Yeah, I agree. They needed that. They could really do with winning this set.
Yo no creo que se van a quitar el poco doble tanque. Bueno, el poco... Bueno, sí. Car funciona como un medio tanque.
Si te fijas, Ides siempre lleva Car.
Ya. Como que no va a llevar un brawler que se le da mal. De Chile ahí o de push, a ver, puede. Pero en algo importante como esto no creo que se la juegue llevando un brawler que se le da mal. Como a mí en el caso de
jugadores profesionales de estos, en teoría no se les debería dar mal ningún brawler.
A ver, ya. Todo el mundo tiene un brawler que se le da mal porque nadie es buenísimo con todo.
La está liando muchísimo SK con los combos, la está liando muchísimo. Y si te fijas también, ID siempre lleva la del escudo, nunca lleva la otra. Todos los profesionales dicen que es mejor la otra. Y si te fijaste antes, el mejor car del mundo también llevaba la del escudo. Y Sam Bailey también lleva la del escudo.
A ver, es que es preferible tener un escudo que te reduce el daño que recibes, A ver, aunque sea un 30%, algo es. El pase que se acaba de marcar. El pase que se acaba de marcar.
¡Dios! ¡Dios!
El pase que se acaba de marcar, loco.
Dios.
Lul, el pase.
Getting those moments to connect is honestly such
Que se note,
a try thing.
podemos.
There's the first one to Casey from Sun, walking it in so nicely there, and Twisty bouncing it off the wall to Sun. Ah, great from Code Magic.
It's just
Vaya,
amazing
ese
how
pedo también
they see
buena.
the angles immediately. Like the moment something starts to line up, they can see an SK. Wow, IDE really not looking too happy at the moment.
Twisty is getting
Bueno, que son. Ya llevamos una puta hora y aún no lucharon.
A ver, Clash está de último, Está de último con Tribe. Luego de este va Inch contra Júpiter. Va a haber mucho delay ahí, porque Inch es de LATAM, de la zona de LATAM y Norteamérica, y Júpiter es de la zona asiática, zona de China y por ahí. Pues ahí va a haber muchísimo delay.
This match. It's a single elimination bracket. So the team that loses this match is out of the tournament.
Venís a mi casa a ver una peli, ver la peli, coger, comer, coger de nuevo y ver otra peli.
Potentially the last game of Brawl Ball, and Code Magic already pushing forward as a whole team. IDE alone
Ahora, si quieren un gol en 10 segundos. Si quieren un gol en 10 segundos.
Joder. Pero tuviste el combo que llevan, normal.
Hombre.
¿Pero qué está haciendo Skyris, tío? Y ganan ya. ¿Por qué paliza la acaban de meter?
No sé. Ha sido un bucaque. El cazador cazado. Lo que me hicieron a mí los de SK se lo hicieron ahora los de Code Magic.
Todos los españoles están animando a SK, ¿ves? Para que no gane Code Magic.
Ah, es que Code Magic también es muy buen equipo.
Composure definitely needed now.
Es que no de balón.
SK Gaming's turn to be in the chair.
En teoría en balón, los que deberían de ganar en balón, entre Clash y Trade, yo creo que gana Clash, porque Clash es el dueño del balón, como se dice, ¿no? Ahí sale
y taca.
I love me a little bit of Siege. Siege is a game type that where early control is so important, and keeping that control throughout the game is vital.
Rosa
Do you see any
Vivi
surprises here?
y un Barley.
It's hard to say. I think Jackie would work out really well here. We've seen that being played on both sides already today. Again, the bans were Max and Gene, and those two brawlers have been fantastic actually in Siege, and possibly a lot of the reason why they were banned. So what I would say is that the bolts now spawn in a fixed position, so that's a really important thing. Both of these two teams will be very familiar with that pattern and looking to capitalize. But any brawler with any kind of additional speed or tankiness definitely has a definite advantage in terms of banking those bolts, and that is the thing that both of these teams have to do in order to get that all-important push.
So it's going to be Jackie, Barley, Carl versus Brock B. Carl. Again, quite a
me faltó. Bueno, sí, que el Genio estaba baneado. No me acordaba. Estaba baneado.
Sorry, SK going to bank the first couple bolts there quite nicely.
Yeah. I think their comp's an interesting one actually running B. Wouldn't have been my go-to thought, but I definitely think that Brock being played by a Shill is a good shout. Casey going in for some kill, I think would be a smart thing to do if he can get it. No, Wiley wins the lane. Pressure there on Code Magic.
Para SK.
Yeah, looking to run. He's actually running Sticky Syrup, I believe, as a gadget, so not running
soltando
the healing tonic. An interesting decision.
Bueno, un 8% en la caja de Code Magic. Están todos tocados, salvo Twisted que acaba de salir.
And now a really tight spot for Casey and Twisted to get out of this spawn trap.
Yeah, that is going to be tough, and some likely going to need to use that gadget
Me llamo mi abuelo.
to slow down the siege bot. I guess that's the thinking behind it. But that's 6 bolts banked. That's going to be 7.
Madre mía, ese K, qué combo me lleva, chaval. Qué bonito. Madre mía, y de motivar si la cagaste. Te motivar si la cagaste. No, es que el nuevo gadget de Carl, bro.
El robo del tornillo que se acaba de hacer Ide, tú.
Qué bueno Ide, chaval. Ah, Chile, ¿qué haces yendo en línea recta, tío? Yo pensé que era el
Vale, esto es un bounce. Entonces ya se tiene el 35% de la caja y ahora es solo ganar tornillos. Que ya tiene los tornillos Skyrix.
Nah, ya está. SK, victoria, se llevó los 3 robots. Madre mía, Skyrix, la vea de Skyrix. Pero ¿quién es ese, tío? Está loquísimo, da todos los tiros, bro.
Hombre, a ver.
Nah, está loquísimo.
Sabes que en estos
ya ganó.
En el combo que lleva Cloud Magic, si fallas uno estás muerto.
Ya está, victoria.
Ahora
vamos,
va
100%, a tomar por culo, puto Code Magic de mierda. No verías mi nombre de Discord, ¿no?
Sí, lo vi.
Tú eres una rata. Te voy a poner un rol, te voy a añadir un rol, ¿qué te parece?
A ver. Pero ahora no. Ahora ponte aquí conmigo a castear.
No, pero eso es un momento.
Sun giving some instruction to his teammates, some frustration seeking in, and still the same very focused expression there from SK. Despite the wins or losses, it must be said that their expressions are more or less consistent.
No voy a mejorar esto, de servidor lo voy a mejorar.
They are very, very focused, not showing any signs of emotion until the final moments confirming their outcome here.
I mean, this is an emotional day. This is a really emotional day. These teams have been facing off for years.
Aquí, roles. Añadir rol.
A ver, mientras voy a abrir solo una caja grande, a ver.
Extremely close. This is the third set of this match.
¿Cómo te llamas en Discord?
A 1 game ahead in this.
¿Cómo crees que me llamo?
Honestly, still anything
can
happen.
Yeah, a few brawler changes here and there could actually make a big difference here. I've got to say, I don't think it will happen, but I do feel like Bull is actually a viable option now with his new gadget. Stomper's great, and having a tanky presence in the mid for banking the bolts, I think could go a long way here. Jackie was, again, the pick I saw coming, and keen to see whether that is actually swapped out. It does seem like Casey going to go with some healing tonic with the barley option, so not sticky syrup mixer this time round, as we saw with Sun in the previous game. But no brawler changes for SK Gaming here.
A shield goes down, and Code Magic have a little bit more control, at least at this early point in the game. Both teams banking bolts that it is going to be a level 2 siege. However, this time, Code Magic already have 2 bolts. So three bolts. So maybe it's a really different story going into the next siege.
Yeah, it took them until the 3rd push to even get near that number. So a much better start despite the push, actually more damage than the
cojones acaba de hacer?
second push
SK, que le quitó un 50.
That is not a great time.
Dios.
Now, they can push the mid.
Pero que acaba de hacer SK.
SK está fumadísimo.
Y la vea de Skyrix, la vea de Skyrix.
A ver, Skyrix está a otro nivel.
Skyrix parece que está jugando con niños pequeños. Míralo. Tú mira cómo utiliza el nuevo gadget ya, tío, que tampoco hace tanto que salió.
A ver,
míralo.
Pero
tú míralo.
Es que Skyrix fue el que, literal, cuando jugué yo contra SK, fue el que nos mató a todos, literal.
Much better plays. For me, the thing that's helping Code Magic so much here is that introduction of that barley gadget, the healing tonic, allowing them to stay firm in the mid, despite the rattled hives from Skyrex effort now.
Oh, Sun Bentley and KC both fall in this final
esto ya está done para SK.
This is bad for
Segunda
Code
partida
Magic, as it
de
seems like SK have got this once again completely under control.
Madre mía. Pero como le quito también un 50% Code Magic.
O sea, a ver, en verdad, si tuviesen a la Genio...
10 tornillos y partida. Ya está.
Si tuviesen a Genio...
Y de humillando a Twisty Trick, ¿quién lo diría?
And look at this bot coming in really thick and fast now. A shell with the
100%,
rocket
va,
rain. That is going to be
Humilla
it for
estos
that
payasos.
round of Siege.
Vamos, hostia.
Se creyeron buenos los de Cod Magic por ganar las 8 finales mensuales.
Make you think back to Gem
Yeah.
Grab for a minute earlier today. Code Magic were able to take the first two
Pero
games
si no mejoran
really
los
comfortably.
de...
They didn't even slow down for a second. But then
Los de
SK
Cod Magic
took it
la...
back, went from being
se van fuera,
0-2 to 3-2.
Ojalá se vayan fuera ya.
Do you think we could see the same thing from Code Magic here?
Sería injustísimo que SK se fuera fuera en los cuartos de final jugando como está jugando.
People kick them when they're down. They like to get back up and put back.
Pero se no juegan iPhone, el Skyrim. Tú para que veas, se jugando con su móvil.
I think some good changes that we saw in
Mira,
that round.
Sam Bentley diciendo que sus compañeros de equipo, tío.
Didn't see a single push from them in
Yeah,
the previous
literal.
round, so definitely with a couple of changes, they can still bring this one back. And you know, SK Gaming did it in Gem Grab. Now it's Code Magic's turn to do it in Siege.
All right, here we go. It's actually going to be mirrored comps
Como combo.
this time, but already
Es que mira el Cace intentando imitar a Skyrim.
SK still with all three members. Skyrex taking great control of the center there. YDE ready.
Por el momento aún da bastantes balas,
Skyrim, no me decepciones, que no te gane la mierda de Cace, que es una mierda de ver.
A Chile se comió los 3 aguijones de 1000.
Es verdad.
Y se mata a Cace, pero como Pedro por su casa.
Porque ganó el robot SK. Si no lo llega a ganar, no tenía la presión para poder...
Una vez tanqueando.
Sabes que si no llega a ganar el robot, perdían. Literalmente porque tenían la presión todos los otros. Ahora tienen la presión. Nah, eres buenísimo, Skyrim. Te comía la polla. Eres bueno. ¿Ves? Por el robot fue todo por el robot. Si ganan esto, tienen el set, ¿no, señor Fox?
Ya. 2-1 para SK, a un set de la victoria. Ahora creo que
tienen que ir a muerte, porque cuidado. Nah, ya está. No hace falta. Skyrim eres buenísimo, tío. Tienes una tula de 20 metros.
le da un...
Bueno, que más que... Dale. Y dale. Ya está. ¡Vamos! Vamos. Qué buena, hostia.
Y pensar que SK, o sea, que IDE no juega al CAC desde a saber cuánto.
That was not what Code Magic wanted to have happen. A really important set
tiene a 520.
that they have lost, because ultimately now the pressure will start to build, and that's when mistakes can start to seek through the cracks. And they've definitely got to just forget that it happened. They've got to remain like fresh to the table. They've got to imagine that this is the first set and just start fresh. And SK now starting to show some emotion for the first time, which is great to see. Definitely their confidence starting to shine now.
Acabas de ver lo que acaba de hacer Supercell. Y no puedes ver las repeticiones de las partidas si no tienes al Brawler en más de 800.
No.
Sign of good control from SK.
49 bolts. SK is
Esto es mentira, ¿no?
really,
Esto es mentira, ¿no?
high
Esto es mentira,
set
¿no?
round of Siege. Canal Grande.
A ver, yo
No,
creo...
esto es mentira.
The bounty game mode, so
Esto es mentira, ¿no? Mira, como sea verdad.
No.
Como sea verdad.
Es verdad,
jodería
tío.
mejor.
Es verdad.
¿Qué dices?
Repeticiones
A
disponibles
ver.
cuando el Brawler tenga 800 trofeos.
¡Ah, bueno! ¡La puta! ¡Hijo de puta! ¡Que eres tonto! Supercell de mierda, tío. Eres retrasado, tío. Eres retrasado. Salió el card temerario por 39 y yo hoy me voy a meter.
Two extremely different compositions here.
Yeah, it does seem
Qué
like
raro
SK
en ti.
going for the really tough pushing sluggish comp, and
dime, ¿qué coño
Supercell eres tonto, tío. Ahora tengo que grabar. No, ahora tengo que grabar en la partida.
If you can get back out of this position, and Skyrex under pressure from KC already here.
800 copas, tío. 800 copas. Nah, esto ya es de coña, tío, te lo digo de verdad, esto ya es de coña. Bueno, está barato el temerario. A ver que me tocan el lote de reacciones, porque hace mucho que no me lo Vaya paliza le está metiendo, joder, mal.
Yo no sé por qué se tiró Twisty Twig. ¿Quién ganará ahora la presión los de SK? Ya tienen ganada porque está... Sí, vale.
Yo aquí viendo jugar a ID, me acabo de meter en una partida con Carl pensando que lo voy a seguir pasando.
Perdieron la presión los de SK.
Yo también tengo la presión. Madre mía, pero si soy mejor que ID.
YDE getting a really nice push on some Bentley, but he's going to struggle to stay alive down here. Meanwhile, on the left, Twisty Twig goes down.
¡No! ¡Si me creo ID y lo soy! Me acabo de hacer una ulti con
YDE is going for it. It is do or die. 2 seconds left, and it doesn't happen. 27-14 in the end with some Bentley taking down a shield.
Se acaba de hacer la partida.
Code Magic, still fighting, still kicking.
Gotta say, for me, Bounty is actually a great game mode for them
Yo sigo
to
sin entenderlo.
recollect. Is a much
¿Por qué
slower
pusieron
pace
ahora
game
la
that allows
repetición
more
disponible en
communication
800,
and more
tío?
ability to
Se lo
sort of
pide,
take a step
y él,
back
como es tan
and-
listo, mete lo que nadie le
sort of
pide.
Review the
¿Quién?
situation that lies in
Ese es
wait, and
Supercell.
yeah, I think now SK may switch away from the Slam Minutes comp, and they've got to be aware of that. I've got to say, Sprout here with the.
Ese es Supercell, meter las cosas que nadie le pide.
Could be a really good brawler. I mean, Sprout was banned
Gracias,
by
Supercell,
so
por
much,
meter algo
40%
que no nos
loss,
beneficia a
throughout
nadie.
the course of this year. So,
Jugadores que están jugando en copas altas. Y los que quieren grabar clips en copas bajas no pueden. Gracias.
Yeah, I would love to see this new gadget in action, actually, because although we are past Siege, which is where I thought we'd see it.
Buah, buah, pues acabo de descubrir mi modo super caro.
Sightlines, yeah, blocking one and then blocking another. That could really work out.
We've seen the strategy a
Ya
lot,
está
turning
por-
Canal Grande
a la
on its
mierda.
head, making it a more vertical affair, and Sprout shutting down that mid lane can really achieve that. The question is though,
Pero,
without that the
esto
healing
que es-
capability, forcing the gadget over to transplant for that cycling of
Ganar la
supers
partida.
could be challenging. We are going to see a throw. It's not
¿Quién
going to be
se ha
Sprout,
metido?
however. It's going to be Tick. KC
¿Quién se metió?
Tick, another great control brawler then in the hands of
¿Y por
Code Magic, but
pasa?
the tendency of being
No.
overran, so he will have to be very cautious.
Se acaba de meter Wolf.
YDE is coming in.
De
Gonna have to
silencio,
back
este
off a
cabrón.
little bit to avoid those mines, but there you
Yo
go.
tengo 7 cajas
Doesn't
grandes
happen.
ahorradas. Estoy ahorrando
YDE
ahí.
A little bit of a dance there. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Twisty Twig getting pretty
A ver,
weak. Skyrex
seguimos
going
lo que
for it. Twisty Twig
Code Magic.
just about staying alive.
Uso tiene la primera estrella.
Yeah,
cambiando
handle
de
with
combo
care coming
un
in
STC.
really nicely clutch there for a shield, just getting
Ganó de Magic la primera.
from Skyrex getting a ton
Sí.
of value over the
Gana la
top,
primera,
and,
pero por
not
dos,
the
por
highest
una
scoring round
estrella.
so far. Definitely teams looking to get
Pero
their
también la
shots.
cagó
Twisty
mucho, porque
obviously
no
wants to
debió
get
llevar
this for
poco
sure.
doble tanque.
Having those portals down will do a
Una
great
Jackie
work
siempre hay que
deterring,
llevarla.
the
En
onslaught
este
from
mapa,
SK here as,
porque ejerce
White's
mucha
getting
presión.
very sneakily closer.
Y tú, Wolf,
Pushing
no hablas.
Code Magic towards the mid here. This is a big pinch inbound potentially here, Falcone.
Yeah, I'm loving
Vale.
how we've
Dice el
seen
malo
SK
con
play the
Mr.
Jackie in these
Déjalo.
games, but it didn't work out. As KC was able to get that elimination, although
Se acaba de cargar
elimination
la
the
ulti.
other way around. There is now a one-star lead.
Y de la cagó,
for
y de la
SK.
lió.
That changes things
Ya.
significantly.
Tiene que esperar
YDE
más,
doesn't care,
no
though.
lo pueden
Still going to
dejar
try and push and
tampoco.
perform another pinch.
Yeah, SK with the lead here.
Lo que tienes que hacer,
Control
Jackie,
as well
es
for
ir
the most
esperando.
part, having tanky brawlers like Jackie to their disposal. Whitey again trying to see
Casey
if
tiene que
Casey
ser
does have his
suelto.
super ready, and that will deter
Para
Whitey
intentar
quite
recuperar el
considerably. That was why Whitey was so aggressive at the beginning, because Casey had nothing really to
Casey se
defend. It's
mató
6-6
a
now,
Sam
and
Bentley.
20 seconds left
Pero Sam
remaining. This
Bentley se
could be a
mató a
tie.
Skyrim.
It depends which one wants
Yeah.
to make the aggressive plays, and it looks
Tienes
like
que
it's
usar la
Whitey for
presión
the most
es
part
de
right
saber
now.
esquivar.
I'm again loving how
Y tiene-
YDE
Twig
is
está
playing the
a
Jackie,
nada
dodging
de
Brock's
vida.
rockets. This is the chance. The gadget gets
Si se
popped.
hacen-
Brock's gadget gets
si se
popped as
hacen
well.
una-
Oh,
Ojo,
YDE has the
ojo,
damage.
buena idea,
Meanwhile, on the
buena,
left side,
buenísima.
KC is very weak. Oh,
Madre
I
mía,
think
líder.
SK are going to be tying
Vale,
up.
partida para
Bounty
SK.
has a shield with the rocket rain.
Están
It's
a
gonna
dos
find some
partidas de la
Bentley
victoria.
as well. Wow.
He who dares wins. I've got to say, I really respect that, especially in Bounty, where so often we see teams just
Hostia, que a lo mejor lo...
to go for
Espera,
the
vuelve.
play. Whitey said no. He smelt the opportunity and did not falter from that position, getting that takedown towards the end. Such an important move for SK Gaming.
SK Gaming one step closer
San Bentley,
to
vamos.
taking down this match, to becoming the second semi-finalists. Code Magic need to start putting up more of a fight.
Yeah, they need to consider very carefully what they do now as, yeah, a win for SK could smell some momentum here. They've got to just go back to where they were in the first game mode or make a change. But, you know, this is where it gets tricky for Code Magic because making any kind of radical change can be catastrophic.
Yes.
They cannot lose more than 2 games of Bounty. That is the reality of their situation, and this is not a time to experiment almost at a time when you kind of almost have to.
Brock Piper B for Code Magic, Brock Piper B for SK. Both teams with the same plan. It looks like Code Magic are going to try and grab that first start. And also,
San Bentley se acaba de reventar a Sky.
beautiful gadget from Sun Bentley.
Ya te
And
digo.
now YDE so weak as well. Can KC find the
la
elimination there?
primera-
¡Oh!
El
¡El ID! ¿Qué hizo?
Que Iden no va con carne.
Amazing start from Code Magic King. Popping out the gadgets quite early, I think it's kind of smart. Trying to get a lead that's so big that it gets into the minds of SK Gaming and rattles them just like KC, connecting with those Rattle Hive gadgets there.
SK
Se le da mal, ¿no?
rattled this game. Not only are they behind, but they've been pushed back to their spawn. Code Magic rocket fuel
San
takes that
Bentley,
YDE.
vamos,
Skyrex falls. What is happening?
Vaya reventada está pegando el San
Falling
Bentley.
apart.
Vaya paliza les están
Sun is
metiendo.
being a sneaky,
Y le están bailando en la
the
cara.
rocket fuel gadget.
¿Por qué no llevaron el combo de antes, tío?
SK
Con
don't
ya.
see it coming and just absolutely capitalizing.
Ide es malísimo con Brock.
Absolutely slaying this right now for his team.
Alright, although KC falls.
¿Viste lo malo que es Ide con Brock?
Oh, okay. Alright, if Chill goes down. Yeah. SK still have a chance. If they can find Sun Bentley, they can begin to catch up, but they only have 30 seconds on the clock arc. Is this going
Carrito
to
del
be
Spidey, bro.
Sun is holding on to that super
Pero
whip.
no.
Alive right now as a very big deterrent, and Whitey will take a little, well, actually more than a little, down to 700 HP front of it.
Tienen que matar a Sun Bentley. Ide es malísimo. Ide es malísimo con Brock. ¿Por qué le dejan que juegue con Brock? Tío, son
Need
tontos.
2 eliminations here, Arc, including Sun Bentley. Skyrex is going for it. Casey, if Sun Bentley goes down, one more. Sun Bentley needs to go down. No, it doesn't happen. And Code Magic
¡No!
are going to take the game. They needed 2 eliminations.
Si
but
no
one of
llega a
them
morir
had
la
to be
vea y mataban a ese
Sun Bentley.
ganaba.
That was the only way SK came back.
Tampoco ganaban.
It didn't happen.
I cannot
Va, aún hay esperanzas,
believe
Pueden ganar las dos.
that his heart must have been in his mouth and
Es que tío, Ide es malísimo con Brock. Porque se lo
for Code
pone.
Magic that they would have liked. That would have absolutely
No me lo
still
puedo creer,
kept
tío,
the
que llevaron
dream
el
alive
combo
in
de
the
Jack.
eyes of SK, but definitely a sigh of relief for Sun. Look at that, using that tree, just hugging onto it for dear life.
Es que llegan a matar a Sun Bentley
Things
y la
are
vea que no
starting to feel
muriera.
a little bit better for Code Magic. If they can get one more win, if they can take down Bounty, we will be going, as I initially predicted, all of the way to a heist. I want to see it for excitement, but Code Magic want to see it a lot more than I do.
Oh, it would be fantastic to go all the way in just the second matchup of today. SK now have got to just take that momentum that they had at the end of that game and bring it into the start of this upcoming game. And yeah, that's definitely a big relief because, you know, had it been
Oscar ya
very
volvió.
much just Code Magic
Le voy a
all day
mandar
long
el
that previous game, it would have been a bitter pill to swallow, I would think.
Brock Spout and Piper versus Mortis and Brock. YD got to show off the true goal. Mortis. Twisty Twig very weak, but staying alive on the left side here. But YDE once again initiating this pinch.
If YD can get some sneak attack by going through the spawn, he's actually going to go back here and think better of it.
Puedes añadir todo Oscar a la llamada. Que tú le tienes agregado.
Wolf, ¿estás ahí?
No, si te parece, desgraciado.
gadget shot from
Pedazo
Twisty
puta.
on YD is a good aggressive start for Code Magic.
Very nice shots from KC there on the Sprout. He is going to find the elimination on a shell, and Code Magic do take the lead, which means SK needs to do something. YDE keeps wandering down to the bottom of the map. This time, he's going all the way around. He's going to find Sun Bentley potentially from behind. The pinch begins, but no, YDE falls!
And Sun surviving 193 goes down to the handle with
Han reventado ahí de
running by Skarks, but a bit of a transfer here of Stars.
Vale, bien, va ganando SK, va ganando SK.
Yeah, Ashil was fairly weak there, but able to stay healthy, just long enough for the other team to appear. YDE on the left side, trying to dodge everything.
Doesn't
need to do anything right now. Strictly just needs to stay alive, but Code Magic are on the aggressive.
Tiene pingüinero. Lo que no entiendo es por qué Skide se puso a Mortis. A ver, Skide solo sabe jugar Mortis y Carl, que es lo que más mejor juega. Ide no te...
Pressure with some throwing shots, but you know, I don't know whether it's going to be enough for him to take on both YD and Skarx alone.
Acaba de matar a Chile a
Stars to 7. Code Magic desperately
a
want to
Chile
win
es
this one. They need to do
buenísimo,
something now. Sun Bentley with the rocket fuel is going to find a shield. There are 4 stars in it now. Eliminations happening all over the place.
No. ¡No!
Buenísimo.
Vale, van ganando.
Qué
susto me llevé.
Si
gana SK y eliminan a Code Magic, si gana.
It's match point.
SK a una partida.
If SK win this, they will be
Si
the
ganan
second
esta,
semi-finalists.
Que se decida toda una partida.
Your last chance
próximo año.
to prove that you can do it, that you can
Te va a
take
llorar
down
a la
the
llorería.
other European titan.
Ojo, SK que está fuerte. Ojo que SK está fuerte.
San Bentley se está cabreando,
Buah, es que yo soy ellos y pierdo la final del mundial. Compremos de 200.000 euros, cojo el iPad y lo reviento a hostias. Está cabreado. Va a parar de jugar el San Bentley.
A ver,
por una semana o un año mejor.
A whole year of
Ya.
playing, of competing against each other, against your friends. The teams did admit they are friends earlier, but
aunque
right
pierdan
now,
ahora, creo que se llevan
these teams are going to be feeling feelings for each other, and it's not
100.000 euros, 100.000, 100.000.
as they need to take the other team down.
I think it's friendship outside of the game, but when you're in the game, it's all about
Ojito.
eyes on the prize.
poco doble tanque contra poco...
Pogo tank.
Nah. Pero que hago.
Code Magic and
Pero que hace el
very similar to the
sustituir.
double tank
¿Qué
here.
les quiere regalar la
SK
partida sin luchar
Gaming,
bien?
battle of the Pogo tank
Nah,
kills
gana
then, as this one comes down to the
esto.
wire.
Twisty Trick just
Aquí,
hanging out
Twisty
underneath
Trick no puede
YDE, but
hacer
with
nada.
Jackie in the way, there's not that much he can do. Skyrex pushing KC, both have popped their
Salvo-
supers, and a
salvo que se
shield
maten al
falls
poco.
down if KC can escape. That's a nice early lead.
Nah, se mataron al poco.
By Sun Bentley. What is happening between these two
Aquí
roses?
Ojo.
Plays between
a
Sun and
ver.
Casey to stay alive here and gets the takedown. But now
Pero que no mueren las rosas.
extended and 8 stars to SK
Peleas
is
de
a
rosas.
very strong lead
Nah.
with 1 minute remaining.
Que eliminan a
Just
Code
over 1 minute left.
Magic. SK eliminando a Code Magic en
A
4.
minute left to save their lives in this tournament.
Yo creo que
They
si
need
eliminan
to
a
do
Code
something
Magic
now.
ganan
It's do or
esto es la
die.
final.
Twisty Trick
Siguen
rushes
así.
in.
Aunque yo quiero
It's
que gane
attacking
Clash,
Skyrex,
obviamente.
but Skyrex popping throws a super.
Ojo, Twisty
It's
Trick.
disaster. YDE staying alive against the whole team. Supers them in.
Es con Mortis, tío, que viene.
Pero es que, tío, a Chile...
¡Madre mía! Matan al poco, ya está. Hace la triple.
Nada,
Ya está, fuera.
A 40 segundos de clasificarse SK para las semifinales.
40 segundos para Code Magic a tomar por culo. Nah, ya está, vaya
Doing
paliza,
what
tío.
he can, trying to deal that damage, but on his own,
Ah, es que
he can't
Twisty Trick
do
no sé por qué se
enough.
puso al
There is now 14 stars
No sé
in
por
it.
qué
Seven
pensaron
of
que iba a
Skyrex
ser para
above
otro.
Shield, 3 above
Y yo creo
YDE.
que, a ver,
That's
o por
not
20
enough.
segundos
Team
para
right
que
now
SK
does
se
not
clasifique
do the
y
job
Code
for
Magic a
Magic.
tomar por el culo.
Disaster for Code Magic. I think the Mortis was never
que
going to really touch
yo no
the
sé por qué Twisty
surface
Trick
when
se
it
puso
came
a...
to such a tanky
a Mortis.
Vaya
Code
paliza.
Si llega a poner
Magic
a la
are
Jackie...
going to leave the competition at the World
Y yo
Finals,
creo
and
que hace algo más.
SK Gaming are victorious.
A fantastic match through and through.
Vamos, hostia, a tomar por culo, Code Magic.
Mucho
Gaming,
clasificarse
who are
las 8
going
veces
to be
seguidas.
facing off later
Pero-
against PSG to decide who the first finalists are. Commiserations to
Pero muy
Code
bien.
Magic. They've played all year. They were the first European
muy
team
bien ese
to
gap.
qualify for the World
muy
Finals.
bien.
They had
Vamos,
the most
hostia,
points.
se lo
They qualify,
merecía,
I think,
joder, juego
every
genial.
single month. but in the end,
Madre mía, se
SK
está eliminando a
stands
Cody, ¿no?
supreme.
Fantastic displays from SK. Despite being behind in the first set, they were able to pick themselves up, brush off the dust, and come back fighting in the responding of the
5 minutos y siguiente partido. ¿Qué equipos son estos,
Great to see as they were so composed prior to that moment, but they can be very Skyrex with the fist pumps. You love to see it.
¡Ah, puto perro! Skyrim
It's
está ahí
great to see them
celebrando.
happy. It's not so great to see them sad, but of course that is part of competition. Here are some stats for you from Bounty. And actually, Code Magic dealt more damage than SK, but if the damage doesn't finish off the opponent, it's not enough.
Exactly
Vaya
that, a
partida.
high-scoring star round all around. I'll be very, very keen to see what Frankie and Woody made of
Vaya
that.
partidaza
Well,
de
that
SK.
was
Bueno,
a
SK
quarterfinal
tampoco
that
es malo.
certainly delivered, and I'm gonna just pretend that my money was on SK Gaming because they did take more monthly
Voy a pillar la de
finals in the
Cartemerario,
past 8 months
porque solo tengo una skin de
than
cara.
Code Magic did, so I knew all along. But
la del
did our
Temerario está
man
rota.
in the
Va a valer lo que
mirror?
vale.
It's not really a mirror, but let's pretend it is, just because it sounds cool. Woody, what did you think of
Madre
that?
mía, ¿quién se iba a esperar
No
eso?
two teams share a fate more twisted
creo que
than
nadie.
regional
Las
rivals
apuestas
Code
todas,
Magic and
si
SK
hubiera
Gaming.
apuestas del
The
Brawl, todas
mid-season
las
roster
apuestas
swap
iban
of
a
Twisty
estar
to
en
Code Magic
Y
seemed
yo
to
ahí
be the
votando a
decisive change of the
SK
season,
100
but
euros
SK
apostando y
Gaming
ganaba
held
y
strong with
Guau,
3 of 4 wins over their rivals in the regular season, thanks to my MVP
Yo si
pick,
hubiera apuestas del
YDE.
Brawl Stars, te
Tell me
juro
why
que...
DE.
Ah, y vinculasteis la cuenta.
SK launched a reverse
Hostia,
sweep thanks
tía,
to
que yo
his
vinculé
precise
la
play.
cuenta en el
Carl was a
móvil.
powerhouse for PSG and was just as juicy as a shining
tiene que
gem
ver eso?
carrier starting in game 4
Pues que
of this
si la
first set
vinculo en
and
el
going
móvil,
all
tengo
the
que estar
way
viendo
through
de...
the end. After stumbling in set
Ahí,
2,
pero,
SK
o sea,
Gaming regained the lead in Siege with YDE twirling
¿Cuánto tiempo
towards
tengo que
freedom.
estar viéndolo para que me den
Bodacious
el...
bots demolished the
Hasta que
high four
salga-
with an impressive
O sea, hasta que
3-0
salga la
sweep.
mierda de esto para
Finally,
que reclames.
Bounty dodging massive shots from
Salió.
Pipers and Brocks to
No,
pierce
todavía no sale.
deep for a punishing pinch. YDE
¿Y cuánto
clinched
tiempo
the
llevas
win.
viéndolo?
In the
Una hora
final
ya.
game, he set a perfect bait to reel in a
Y yo no
collaborative
llevo ni un
match
minuto,
and
tío,
send
porque
his
soy
team on to
retrasado.
the semifinals.
Y
And they
lo estaba
will be
viendo en la tele.
facing
Guau, pero
PSD,
a
but we'll
mí
be
me
talking more
parece
about that
excesivo
shortly,
lo que hicieron,
because
tío.
right now it
Ahora.
is time for a message from one of our sponsors.
Pero ¿tú crees
and
que
if
lo
you're a
van a
fan
dar, en
of
serio?
playing
Si le hablas
undercover,
Piu
you're gonna
en
want
su
this
canal.
A World
espera.
Championship SmackDown can leave your maps out for the count. Gale Force wins, cavernous craters, stompings from an angry bear. If only there was a solution.
¿Qué cojones es esto?
Well, there
cojones?
is. Introducing
Grow Life.
Growlite,
Bo.
the amazing
Pero qué
garden
cojones.
gadget that brings your bushes back from the dead. Produces
Los pavos estos están bien de la cabeza.
foliage for you to hide,
No sé.
and ambush your
Con
enemies.
zumba.
If
Haz ahí
you
un
love hiding in
un
bushes, you need Rose's Grow Light. World Championship
50%.
Mira,
Joder.
al fondo de todo estaba Spike con la cara de Sprout.
with Rose's Grow Light.
Ya.
Well,
Espera,
talking of knockouts, let's take a look at the
hace
bracket,
4
shall we?
horas dejaba.
As you can see,
Yeah.
we signed a second fight to two
SK
teams
contra
already,
PSG
Code Magic
eSports.
and Nova China, but that sets us up for a semi-final between SK and
Perro
PSG
culero, si te vas, te
esports.
vas, hombre.
And right now, we are going to take things to Brazil and to Japan.
Pero
two
juegan contra
incredibly
Tribe Red.
different
¿Qué-
regions.
quién
For
hay en
our
Tribe
next
Red?
matchup, it's going to be Jupiter versus
Ahora mismo no
INTZ.
sé.
Jupiter
Pero bueno,
actually
el caso.
tallied more points
Aquí
in
va a
their
haber mucho
region
delay, ¿eh?
than
Así que
any
no
of
te
the
puedes
other
esperar
teams
mucho.
in this top 8. So I have a feeling they're going to be feeling quite confident. But
Pues que
I
mira,
also
yo aquí jugué una
know
partida
the
hace
Brazilians
4 horas y 10
never
minutos.
back down from
Y
the
luego jugué
fight.
otra hace
So
4
let's
horas y
see
6
if
minutos.
our players have got some fighting
Y en
talk
la,
ahead of this
y en la
quarterfinal.
última ya no me deja.
Joder. Tío Wolf, me tenías que haber avisado, que no me acordaba ya que lo había vinculado, porque así lo estaba viendo desde antes y ya me contaba
いま
más.
いちそんなに知らないチームなんですけど、まあやっぱり
Bueno, tranquilo, aún le queda más de la mitad esta
上がって
vez.
きてるチームということで、 ちゃんとこっちもしっかり対
A
策を
ver,
して
espera.
Voy
a ver si ahora juego una partida normal.
About our first
Me deja bien.
Jupiter, it's very good.
Y
Wolf,
Wolf, ¿viste lo que hizo el puto Brawl Stars? Que ahora no puedes ver las repeticiones si no tienes el Brawler en 800.
¿What? 800?
Sí, 800.
Qué puto guarro, loco.
to know about them in the monthly finals, which is quite
ahora
a while ago.
Acabo de mandar a la mierda al Mortis.
自分たちがずっと積み上げてきた連携
O sea, no puedes ver la repetición de tu partida mientras que tú estén en 800 copas. Qué mierda.
Es que ya antes no había regla de copas. Ya la cagaron al meterlo en 500.
A ver, 500 acepta, pero 800.
去年の世界大会にすら出れてない INTZ には負けられないかなと思います。
Empieza, Hoy.
They're not going to lose to a team that
Cuartos de
didn't even
final.
qualify last year. Those sound
Pero
like
¿qué te tiene que
fighting
aparecer,
words from
Wolf?
Jupiter in our third
O sea,
semi-final
mira,
of the day. And
mira, me
this is
cago en
gonna
la
be an
puta con este
interesting one
Discord.
because so far we've had inter-region derbies
A
that
ver,
have been playing in approximately the same location. These guys
¿Dónde
are
está el
opposite
chat
ends
en
of the
directo?
world, so who
Compartir,
knows
emitir y
what's
guardar.
gonna happen in this next
Va a haber
series.
otra cosita más que va a decir reclamar.
Y le das ya donde te lleva.
No, o sea, lo reclamas, vas al Brawl,
¿Por qué está todo el mundo escribiendo por el club, por el chat, pim, pim, pim?
It does not surprise me for the Carl ban in particular. We saw the strength of that in our first series as well. Recently buffed, having a
Mejor
lot
tienes que
of
escribir
power in
pim
that
para que te lo
pick.
den. Todo el mundo
No,
está en directo por el pim, hijos de puta.
Yo es que, o sea, yo he puesto pinca muchas veces y ni siquiera me he entrado para nada.
¿A quién le banearon?
Entonces, ¿por qué ponen eso?
Insta.
¿Pero por qué ponen eso?
Is an interesting one. It
Yeah.
kind of lives in a microcosm of its
Pero,
own
¿a
because
quién
of the
banearon?
battles. You just tend to get a lot of Tara, a lot of Bo. Typically, these kind of
No lo
things.
vi,
Teams
no
are
lo
straying away
dijeron.
from that oftentimes throughout our monthly finals.
¿A quién
so far,
banearon,
but
por
I'm
cierto?
expecting
No lo vi.
some
sé.
more
Bueno,
reliables
yo
to
que
come
veo
back.
Bo
Absolutely,
Piper,
get a
Rock.
bow in there of Super Totem, get Nanny in there just to sit and let Peep do its thing, scout them out, get them taken down and get those stars for your team.
Es que todo el mundo está escribiendo por el club, pim, pim, pim.
On both sides, or whether we see some
Bo
maybe
Nan-
like
Bo
Tara
Tara?
coming into the mix. We've seen Tara do some devastating
Tara,
plays
Brock
this
o
year in
Piper?
St. Prairie.
Well, you got to wish.
Pero bro,
Jupiter
muy
running out
poca
with the
gente
bow,
va a
with the
tener
Nani
el
and the
pin,
Tara
porque si te
itself.
fijas, mira las
What are we
personas que
seeing from
están
the side of
llevando.
INTZ?
Porque la Nani está
They are
jugando
actually
súper
running Nani.
agresiva y
They
no
got
está en el
greedy on the
toque.
Sprout.
Para cargar la
Yeah,
primera
interesting,
cabeza.
worth remembering that, Greedy
Obviamente,
Costa
no se va a quedar
once
esperando a que recargue
eventually
su...
disappears,
a que
given
recargue
Un
su...
Sprout, nunca vi un Sprout.
Yo tampoco vi un
Yo creo que
Sprout.
va a ganar Full. Yo creo que va a ganar Full.
They got the early star and they did get that first kill. It's been answered back on to someone who didn't have that bonus star. So it does keep Jupiter in the lead, and I'm waiting for those peeps to come online.
Y mata a la Tara.
And there's that first peep running
Y
into
mata
the
a la
back
Tara.
line, dodges out the bear trap. It's on the hunt for something juicy, and we'll find Marcel on the back line.
Yeah,
Pero se
also
mata a
focused,
Marcel.
definitely, I imagine being ran, giving Peep that additional
La Tara
damage
se cuela
that
y
it
se
needs to
mata al
connect
Sprout.
with a more pack of a punch.
Oh.
And Hegego here looking for Guido,
Ala.
who connects here. Despite the
Ala,
offensive, gets the
Sprout.
takedown 10 stars then.
El
for
Sprout en
Jupiter.
plan.
That's rough for INTZ. If you get Tara in your face like that when you're on a Sprout,
Otra vez
even
el
with
pobre
the extra
Sprout va a morir.
resistances given to you,
Ah, no.
still
Se
going to
falló.
struggle if they got gravity up and they pull them into a field. You got Peep on
Y
the
esa
hunt, you
ulti
see
de
on
la
the left-hand
Tara.
side, going from a 5, doesn't quite have the damage.
Poco
Went for the
mierda,
follow-up from
pero bueno.
Konkotsu to get that kill. Those bear traps starting to take away
Boom.
bushes and provide and remove some of this cover which they've been using.
Se viene
Great suck into
cabecita
the
pa'
entry and good. Hey, God,
A la
going to
mierda.
find that kill in the center.
Yeah, Jupiter picking up a lot of kills. There was some sad face spins, sad face
Y ese muro
and
tiene
some-
el Sprout.
and some spins from INTZ, maybe indicating they're maybe having a bit of trouble with the server potentially on their side. We
yes.
knew that was
Muy
going to
mala
be potentially an issue
Tara.
going into this game, and as a reason for that, the prize pool was flattened.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll see them change to smiles as the next round's
Yo si
progress.
fuera la Nani
This
me
one, as far as
teletransportaría.
it's concerned, is all over.
No,
Well, one last
a
peek
ver,
getting thrown out,
teniendo
building
la
up that extra
primera
damage.
Star
Wants to
Power,
go on the
no
lock,
es
gets
rentable
Marcel chunked.
teletransportarse.
Won't find the kill. Marcel actually, oh no, doesn't get away from that one.
Ten en cuenta
But
que te
Bill
puedes
Craig
matar
digo,
finally
cuatro
we get
horas.
to see a glimpse of them, because
Salvo
finally
Frank.
INTZ were able to push
Salvo
into
tanques.
the defensive spawn area of Jupiter, but it doesn't change the outcome. Jupiter win game 1.
¿Pero qué dices? ¿Que tú llevas viendo una hora esto y aún no te puso nada?
No me aparece ni mierda.
No, a ver, el pin te lo dan. Si entras por el apartado del juego de novedades, hoy a una semana te lo dan. O sea, a lo largo de la próxima semana.
Pero solo por verlo, ¿no?
Entra poco, dice.
O sea, a nosotros ya nos lo dieron, nosotros ya lo estuvimos viendo, o sea, ya nos lo dan, pero sí es a lo largo de la semana.
Ah, mira, verdad. Finales mundiales de Brawl Stars. Toca ver y ganarte un emote exclusivo a la próxima semana. ¡Qué grande!
Puto inglés de mierda.
Yo lo miro mejor por YouTube que por Twitch.
Hostia, que lleva una
Porque el Twitch, tío, están casteando.
Mira,
Y yo prefiero mirar.
ahora literal, acabo de jugar una partida así de esto de mapa. Me deja verlo. Voy a probar la dos bolas de estas de energía mínimo.
Vaya tiro de la Piper, bro, del otro equipo. Dirás que Jaego se mata más. Vaya mierda de ulti de la Tara. 138 de vida.
Able to soak up one that's thrown at themselves. Ponkotsu and Matthias are just sneaking around each other's bushes. And the Pete goes onto the hump of the back line. Haven't found the kill, but Matthias will take out Ponkotsu.
Se va con retardo,
Freestar lead.
Yeah, I gotta say, I felt like there was a bit of a short change. I think Marcel got a really nice gadget connection there on one of the Jupiter players and just didn't get rewarded with a kill. It would have been a great kill to get for INTZ.
Se va con retardo,
as the pick goes and connects with Marcel.
Aquí se acaba de morir Marcel por la causa de Nani.
More in favor of Jupiter.
You don't have the HP.
Ah, no,
you
pues
didn't
el que
have
le va
the
directo.
super online to evade the damage. You're a sitting duck when the Pete comes swimming. Look at that red antenna on the back of it. It is a fin poking out of the grass, and the Jaws theme starts playing as it gets closer and closer.
Ah, there's a suck connection, but it's not going to matter. INTZ are not there to follow it up and
ahora sí que te va retardado a ti.
pin and some spins there just to seal it off. But Jupiter right now
mira los likes del directo y los espectadores, what the fuck.
of bounty in their favor so far.
Look, guys, I know you're in the chat spamming pin. Why don't we add an S to the beginning of that and turn that
Pero
into
si
a
nunca
spin
hubo.
Don't worry, it's not going to change much. That's what's happening. There's a lot of spins. And there's a lot of wins coming the way of Jupiter. They can now go 2 games up in this set. One more, and they will get.
La peña pretende llevarse el pin sin haber estado en el
The answer
directo.
to that exclamation mark pin. You can go right now into the Brawl Stars game. Go to the newsfeed, select either YouTube or Twitch, and that is how you will earn your exclusive thumbs up World Finals trophy to flex upon all your friends.
Yo no voy a ver este partido.
Because we are going to have the likes of a finals MVP.
Yo no voy a ver este partido, yo voy a
champions
jugar.
tomorrow as well. There's a lot
Paso de
of
ver
flex to
ese
be had
partido.
by the players. Why not let the fans
Después de este va Clash, ¿no?
Coño, qué frío hace. Me cago en la
big
puta.
fan of anything, as you know, Trid. Match related,
Después de este va Clash.
exclusively related,
Sí, creo.
¿Quién juega al Brawl mientras? Porque para ver esta mierda de partido.
Más y que yo juego de Brawl.
Va, pues métete. Yo lo voy a poner en la tele, el partido.
Despacito.
El gol que me acaba de meter.
Game number 3 for Jupiter, and they
A
finally
ver,
answered
Wolf,
with the
invita.
mirror. Guido is on to the nanny, playing a lot further up than what we usually see Milcreo do on their attempts.
Gego trying to go in here to get some damage. There's the Super Totem going down. Really got some value there. The Pete coming in. Could connect, but now look at that. Gego pops his gadget. And they're
A
going
ver
to
qué me toca hoy en el pack de pins.
Still going to go on to Ponkotsu. Didn't have the distance traveled. Hang on.
Estoy viendo que me va a salir una
Matthias
shit.
faces it out, goes for the loop,
Pon gemas, que estoy haciendo misiones.
campeones.
Smart decision. Shut that down. Start burning through them and make Guido play more forward.
9 stars then to Jupiter. I actually got the kill there, but
Ese mapa
had a much better, more aggressive looking start, but still did not connect.
Literal.
Just, I imagine saw Marcelo goes for the shot. Not going to get the kill, however. And that should allow INC to heal up in the meantime then.
Waiting still, that peep is going to be back online shortly.
Wow.
Marcel on the threat will go down. 11 stars to 3.
Júpiter tiene ganada esta de caza.
Needs to find it. Scouting it out, but it will just end up blowing up terrain, turning circles.
Yo no me confiaría con Júpiter porque es muy bueno. Me teletransporte al otro campo. Pero siendo un bull le metes toda la presión a esto.
It's like procrastination.
Es una raza que...
It compounds it for a later date. Deal with it sooner, get it out of the way. Milcreo taking out Guido. I'm pretty sure he got the super totem in that as well. There's only one left on the... No, there's none left on INTZ.
Ah, ¿quieres que le vaya yo a la rosa?
Y se queda nada de vida, qué crack.
¿Pero por qué no me avisaste que había una rosa?
18 stars to 3. Jupiter on fire right now.
Milcreo can't move. There are traps right next to him on the super totem. If he moves, he's going to lose it. Guido doesn't have a super totem anymore.
Buenísimo, Darkus.
But there's 2 seconds remaining. There's a 17, look at that 19-star difference.
Estoy buenísimo, Darkus.
Once again, making this look easy. Take the first set in a 3-0 fashion.
Qué buena, Darkus. Que no es un bug.
Yo me acabo de jugar ahora uno de los games.
Está aquí la rosa. Ah, era un bug.
A mí ahora me deja verla.
No sé. Pues puede ser un bug.
You'd hope so, because with similar track
Me
records in their
teletransporto.
respective regions,
Nos teletransportamos los
a
dos.
good litmus test on the relative strength of the regions.
Ya
That
está,
could be a takeaway
los teleports
from
son la
this World
polla.
Finals. How do the regions chalk up against each
¿Cómo
other?
tocar la polla a la gente?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, INTZ had twice as many points as their biggest rivals in their region, the Red Planets. Yeah, so very, very strong in that respect. But then again, Jupiter had the most points of any team from any region. So, okay,
so apples and oranges a bit here, Ark. There's one thing to dominate your region, there's another one to dominate the points overall.
Los de Júpiter hicieron como 100.000 más de daño.
100k damage.
Eso cuando en el Brawl
Triple the stars.
No, estuve viendo esto a ver si me dejaba jugar a una normal.
O sea, a lo mejor toquetearon ahí algo sin querer.
Al intentar arreglar esto de los...
¡Ah, maricón!
Era un clon, cabrón. Eres un cagón.
On GG Mortuary.
Sí, al mejorar aquí los servidores de estos.
Está aquí el león.
Maybe we could see a lot of bow coming in, potentially some rocks. Just want to get some
5 segundos para el siguiente set. Es el mapa es cementerio y GG. Para un Brock tiene que ir. Brock tiene que ir. Brock Darryl puede también. Y Spike Colette.
¿Qué que sé? Bueno.
La Colette se va a poner las botas. Bueno, no, pues no murió la Colette.
Yo tengo que hacer daño, que es la misión.
A ver, aquí los de Júpiter van Gale, Gale Bull.
¡No, huevo, no!
¿Y tú qué, huevo, no?
Van Gale Bull contra...
Vamos. Invisible, vete tú invisible.
Literal, la Colette se está...
Han estado esperando ahí los guarros, loco.
La Colette se está poniendo las botas, tío.
No, a 200 de vida.
¿Dónde está?
La esquina.
Ah, vale. ¡Ah, qué guarro ha puesto minas!
Le salió muy mal la jugada a Júpiter. Tienen la presión ganada los de...
¡Vete!
¡Soy buenísimo! ¡Soy buenísimo!
¡Qué maricón, qué maricón!
¡Soy buenísimo! ¡Soy buenísimo! ¡Soy buenísimo! Nada,
Vale,
dejo el Brawl porque
confirmado.
es demasiado
Tienen la presión ganada los de
Dejo el Brawl
¡La
porque es
batería,
demasiado
me cago!
That is going to cause a ton of damage. In the meantime, Matthias will pick up a lot of shots just from that range
Ojo,
alone.
que llevan un bull en este mapa, está
See
bien.
how that pans out, but they have to deal with Matthias. Like you said, he's in range. He's in the
Pero le hace
danger zone
muchísimo
of that
counter la
safe,
Coler.
away
Ya.
constantly.
Y el Barley llega desde ahí, bro.
Ya, por eso. El Barley se está haciendo la cajita solo.
Eso no lo sabía yo.
Pues sí, sí,
Mira quién se unió a Darkus. Mira quién se unió a Darkus.
Doing absolute work on that left-hand side, picking Colette, and yeah, Jupiter for me just leaving Matthias
Darkus.
to be able to do his thing is definitely the wrong way
El Barley
to
se
play
sigue rompiendo la...
Darkus.
Mira, el Barley dejó la caja literal. O sea, rompió solito el Barley.
There's the last call over the top. The bell has been rung, and that's game number 1 going the way of INTZ.
putting up a bit of a fight and again dropping some pins.
Pero este pavo está en Code Magic, mírale el perfil, Darkus.
They definitely have been known to do it in the past.
Estamos jugando con uno de Code Magic.
The blue face with a cross definitely is a great way to
Escucharte,
yourself
Fox.
on the battlefield.
I love that we just saw there a good example of the spring trap being deployed, and immediately there's the last call being dropped on top of it, and then the second you land, you just take all this damage, and there's just nothing you can do about it. You got to walk away with your tail between your legs.
Qué buena.
HP melted away.
So Jupiter seemed relatively unscathed, still smiling as a result of that loss, which is unusual to see. So they're obviously in good spirits regardless and looking relatively confident nonetheless. So we'll have to see. I gotta say, I do like what I'm seeing from INTZ. I would quite like them to come back in this set of heist and give Jupiter, who, as we've got to remind ourselves, were in the finals last year against Nova Esports and lost. So they have been here before. They have gone to that very end stage. INTZ could be the underdogs here to shut them down.
That would be surprising because a lot of people are expecting Jupiter to have shades of their former glory at the previous World Finals. To go out in the first round definitely would be considered an upset here. Arc and a big W for the LATAM South region.
Tick coming out there.
Vete para atrás, Dar.
And we're asking to see Brock now from her gate.
There we go, that makes sense.
Marcel as well, just getting a
Winter
ton
el
of
Bull
value
es
on that
muy
right-hand side, dropping
extensivo.
the Incendiary star power as well, just to get that trickle damage to follow. And Milk Rio changing over to
No sé ni yo cómo
big
sobrevivir.
changes all round.
Absolutely, and Surge, once he gets online,
Hoy van bastante bien los
absolutely
servos.
devastate these safes, and anyone who gets in their way needs to
No,
go
es
online first, and that
lo que te
involves
estuve
staying
diciendo yo.
alive, dealing damage, and popping
What?
a super to upgrade.
La última de Marcel. Vale, fue para ahí, vale. Fue para intentar matar al Souls.
Pon caza, que tengo misión.
Bueno, el caso. Los de Supercell igual fue eso. Lo de las sustitutas igual fue un bug, ¿sabes?
Ya, ya.
Debieron de tocar ahí eso mejorando los servers. Porque si no,
Es verdad, ya me dejo. Había rayado.
yo no sé, salvo que hayan mejorado muchísimo los servers, no sé cómo no está yendo un delay.
Será un Mortis dorado. Es un Mortis dorado. Ah, que es cada estelar, yo pensando que era aquí. De atrás.
Bueno, por lo menos...
¿Y por qué no lleva el nuevo gadget?
Un Such, yo aquí no sé qué está haciendo un Such. La caja se come una cabeza de Tick, pero... Esto es partida para... Ints. Y si ganan una más, se ganan atraco.
No me robes la kill,
The change-ups of the broader comps, I mean, the last is what I love to see in competitive is when a team win with a comp.
Necesito... No, no es ganar, pero infligir daño. No, matar enemigos. Te acabo de salvar la vida, de nada. Darkus.
I think is fantastic here. Tick, very, very annoying to deal with,
No
and just at the moment shutting down Jupiter at every turn.
Yeah, you do not want to be getting
Dime.
on the quite
Te
literally
salve la
world
puta vida.
stage. You need to be able to constantly adapt in, and Jupiter, they're not looking too happy right now. I think they have expectations of their own that they themselves are not living up to. They're going to have one more game potentially of GG Mortuary. If there's no changes substantially from the Jupiter side, INTZ will tie out the
Estaban ahí
series,
los tres.
and it may be looking more like our European derby rather than our previous Asian one.
This would be a huge upset if Jupiter can't
Tercera
start
partida,
to
llevan
get
el mismo
momentum
combo
back
que al
into their
principio.
favor here. I think if INTZ carry on like
Llevan el
this,
mismo
we'll
combo
get
al
Shipping back
principio,
to
no sé
Spike
por qué, porque en
shutting
verdad
down Down
les dan
instantly. I've got to
ultis.
say already, Guido is going to be loving this matchup right here now. Spike versus two tanks is what you love to see if you're Spike, of course.
Jupiter have just defaulted back to the composition they ran in the first game, and they didn't find success with that. Maybe they were hoping that INTZ would bring something different to the table, but like I said, with the Spike, the Brock, the Tick, there's so
Va a
much
ganar el
they have
otro.
to fight
¡Era
for,
Darko!
plus the terrain to get anywhere near the safe.
Le acabamos de ganar a Darko.
And they've already lost over 25% of that safe.
Mira el perfil del Mortis. Mira el perfil del Mortis dorado.
Madre mía, el bucaque.
¡Era! 43.000. Es el que tiene también el récord de Copas del Mundo. Lo acabamos de ganar. No me lo creo.
Finally, they got the kill on there, but that's
Le
time
acabamos-
wasted. And now you see the run into the backline from Ponkotsu. Gets a bit of damage onto the safe.
Ponkotsu está en la caja rival, pero vamos.
One by one, not the push you really want, but they made a heavy dent into that save.
Quedó la temporada anterior primero del mundo y la acabamos de ganar.
Sí.
And it means nothing.
Estaría con random. No sé.
Sí, porque es el mapa este que no te quitan copas.
Ah, bueno.
For a hot minute, they were in the lead and they've
Le
lost
acabamos de
it
ganar al
just
pavo
as they got
este,
it, but
tío.
we've now seen the
A
push
ver.
potential of the composition. If they can do
Fue
that
como
again,
cuando
maybe a
yo le gané a
third
Guille,
time, we can see
¿qué
them
quieres que
walking
te
out with
diga?
the game win.
The problem here is Ponkotsu
Yo a Guille no jugué en Rankings contra él. Y mira que es difícil.
Sí, en cuanto suba más 850 y vídeo.
Yo solo estoy haciendo
And we're now in the
misiones.
danger zone where INTZ can just throw it all at the safe. Don't not matter about the consequences that come next, because that 13% can be eroded so fast by this composition. They can kamikaze into it to win.
Really under pressure goes down though, and he was a
Ah, van a perder.
Milgreer stays alive from left, so Ponkotsu
A ver.
going for damage, and
Júpiter ahora está metiendo mucha presión,
but that's an
pero
important takedown, a team wipe
se
for
queda
Ojo.
INTZ on defense.
And
a
they're
11.
set up with the
Nah.
Rocket Rain. The Spike Super comes in
Nah,
over the
GG's.
top. INTZ will tie out the series.
y en ETZ se gana el
Wow, this is just a very similar story to what we saw with SK and Code Magic. Back and forth, back and forth. But at the moment, we have yet to get a bit of a battle in the set. It's been very one-sided both of the way through.
The sets haven't
1-1
been
en set.
Yeah, but the match has so far, because it's just been swing one way, swing the other. Is this a match of that we're going to see it on? Because to me, it looked like a lot of these instances, Jupiter were losing out of all the
Pues
selection
necesito ayuda.
rather than how they were playing the compositions.
100%. I gotta say, I did feel like INTZ in that round just outmatched in every way the Brawler comp. And I'm surprised in that respect that Jupiter didn't switch away from their tankier roots, and that could be a real thing for INTZ.
Qué buena la
So
tarde.
they kind of almost, if they like can discuss it amongst themselves, have isolated potential weaknesses within Jupiter. If they don't want to steal
A ver,
away
en
from
un
the
minuto
comp,
ya es
then
el
that gives
siguiente set.
INTZ a lot of options to counter.
Oh my goodness. I mean, that just speaks for itself, doesn't it? Basically, triple the damage, triple the stats across the board effectively for INTZ. Showing that, hey, the dominance will swing. It's going to be a pendulum this game, I feel like. It's going to go back and forth until the very end, and we will crown someone going through to those semi-finals tomorrow.
I just want to get to a set point between these two teams now, because and actually Gem Grab could be the way to go. Crystal Arcade again, a very open map, and would be a great idea to consider here as Carl is out the mix. Yeah, a very fan favorite back in the days of Global, and great to see it coming back into competitive once again.
Well, hey ho, Gem Grab
15 segundos ya
matchup
el
and
segundo set.
maybe Jupiter, it's time to put the tanks away. Maybe let's play with a little bit more damage, a little bit more range,
Arcade de
not
cristal,
liking in the face of
gemas.
INTZ. So Brock might be the solution for them, like you said, Ark.
I think Jupiter
Una Tara la veo.
personal, and that's their kind of like, and already I'd say,
Vale, Brock para ya romper ahí eso.
Finally some range
Y
now.
la vea.
Just going with B, Brock, Spike. I think that's a good shot. Ponkotsu running.
Ponkotsu casi muere.
A lot of pressure onto Marcel trying to control that.
Macías.
Actually, Marcel gets the lane and puts
Aquí hacen el cambio de...
So to speak, as he hits him.
No sé quién estaba antes aquí.
Ponkotsu unable to get it even with the curve shot.
Pon todos contra uno.
Just missing out the damage, able to juke it. Now the porters are in play as well. Another threat that Ponkotsu will have to worry about in this left-hand lane. Milcreo not having much
el cambio
effect
de Milcreo por
on the
Macías.
B, able to poke away. But yet again, Marcel getting the best
Bueno,
of
es que
Ponkotsu on the
Mr. P
left-hand
le hace un
lane.
counter
And
a
while
la
this is
Bea.
going on, you just got the fire sat in the mid, building up the gems, building that lead.
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of feel like if Hagego just kind of supers to the left-hand side, gets that porter spawner out of the mix and
Lluvia de
opens up
cohetes
some of the bush
a
there,
la
it might
Colette
help
que casi la
Ponkotsu win
mata.
lane, but with that super to hand, they've got to make it
¿Quién crees
count.
que gana?
It gets
Júpiter.
it down, but it's not going to connect
A
very
ver,
much
de
with
momento
Marcel.
como
I
está
think this
esto
left side lane
ahora
being dominated
dominado,
by INC as well
yo
as
creo
the
que
right
gana
one is the
INTZ,
reason why Hagego is not able to contest the mid.
Yes, it's so become so difficult.
Porque van 10-1 ya, está la cuenta atrás.
How are they even going to get anywhere near Matthias and those 10 gems? It is just not going to happen. Ponkotsu's on the left-hand side, being chased by an empowered
Macías se echa la ulti para el escudo.
INTZ. Maybe they're putting a pole in the way and blocking that pendulum from swinging back just yet.
You'll have to see. I've got to say, I have a lot of respect for teams that come in and the first set doesn't go their way.
¿Por qué el robot? Es más grande el robot, o me lo
That's what we're
parece.
starting to see now from INTZ. They're
No
starting to
sé.
get some confidence. They're starting to think a bit more about what they're playing and how they're going to respond. And it's, I've got to say, it's unusual. We're not used to seeing Jupiter on the back foot here.
They're not a team that's had to struggle that much when it comes to game time. Maybe behind the scenes in practice and putting in the hours there. They're kind of like swans. You don't really see the work or the effort. All you see is just them gracefully skirting along the water, missing out on the little flippers underneath the ground going. But now they're flapping. They are flapping a lot, Ark.
Yeah, and this is no time to flap. This is the chance and the moment to fly, Trid. We are at the World Finals. It could be not any more of an importance now. To rise to the occasion.
Gracias por teletransportarte.
If they're going to be able to win the competition for even bigger and better prize money.
They've gone back to the tanks though, but this time they brought the Poco with them, so they're rolling out with the
Arcos que te matan y pierden.
A ver, en gemas, combo de por parte de Júpiter. Rosa, Jackie, Poco, un poco doble tanque de toda la vida. Y de Ints va Penny, Spike y Colette. Yo creo que lo tiene ganado y NTZ.
¿Cuánto tiempo dijiste que tardaba en darte el pick? ¿Una semana?
De hoy a una semana. O sea, en toda esta semana que viene te lo dan. Por lo menos. Tardarán más, tardarán menos, pero te lo dan. Mars se mata al Poco.
Semana del inicio de septiembre. Tengo vacaciones, casi 5 días de vacaciones. ¿Vosotros?
Yo no sé.
Es festivo.
Yo lo que sé que también el lunes. Yo en teoría
¿Quién puede meter a Oscar en la llamada? Porque él es normal.
A ver. Ya, intentan meterlo yo un momentito.
Pero hay directo.
¿Qué pasó? 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 Me lo perdí.
Que va a ganar el otro equipo.
A ver.
¡Hostia, la remontada, bro!
¿Pero qué pasó?
¡La remontada, bro! Y habían acabado la partida, o sea, habían cerrado como la partida porque pensaron que ganara.
Que no lo vi bien.
¡Dios! ¿What? Ah, son buenísimos. Madre mía, no, el poco la cagó ahí con esa curación.
Marcel por hacerse el chulito, chaval.
Ya te digo.
Le salió muy mal la jugada. Guada. Pero... ¡Wow!
Qué mongolo este. Es que tú mira lo que hizo el Marcelo.
Más suerte imposible.
Mira lo que hizo.
Más suerte imposible.
Mira.
2-0 en gemas, en 7 gemas. Júpiter también va. Júpiter tampoco es que lo está jugando del todo bien.
Júpiter está jugando fatal.
Si dan su nivel, si dan el nivel que tienen, no hay que nos pare.
¿Qué pasa?
El perro culiao se ha puesto mi cama al lado y no me deja.
Pica el nepe, lo rascas.
Nada.
Estabas en directo, pero... Es un genio. ¿Y tú por qué sigues con el primo, pedazo de subnormal?
No sé.
Más casi muere, pero está el Matías ahí ganando doble línea. Se mató al Ponkotsu y a Hagego. Muere Marcel por mil, creo.
Some mid control here. Going back to the range for Jukes, then the tanky comp is much in the past, it seems.
Yeah, tanks are definitely not the play here of Jukes, so I think we're going to see them move away from them altogether. We'll trade up blows in the mid. Fire's in a great position to sweep them up, but doesn't want to risk getting into the range upon Kotsu. They could get shut down and doesn't able to get them out. There you go, Marcel's going to walk forward now. He's got the volleys in play to keep
Marcel se pilla la séptima gema.
Pero Darkus, ¿qué tema?
Marcel recibe un golpe de la Piper que termina muriendo. El mortero de Marcel se mata al Spike y suelta un mortero muy ofensivo, no sé por qué.
Pero cúrate, Dark. Este chaval es mongol.
Vale. Set para INTZ.
We'll take our third set and go to match point.
What a turnaround at the beginning in Bounty. I was certain that Jupiter would just on a winner.
Oh, absolutely.
It's now roles reversed. INC with an amazing comeback here in both Gem Grab and Heist.
Joder, al final se van a clasificar todos al revés, o sea, todos los que tenían las apuestas más altas se van a clasificar al revés. Hombre, si elimina a este equipo que no lo conoce ni su madre, elimina a Júpiter, yo ya no sé. ¿Qué mundial es este? ¿Qué mundial es este?
No se sabe.
Están comprados. Tengo ya 10 cajas grandes ahorradas. De puta madre.
¿Para qué?
Para cuando salga la nueva temporada. Es que a lo mejor me compró el pase hasta el nivel 30 y después no sé, no sé.
Yo no sé si comprarme el pase. No renta, creo.
Ponte la de curar la torreta, puto retrasado.
Puede venir el último set de INTZ. Si ganan este set, viene Clash ya,
Sí.
Pero what the fuck, AQM, what the fuck.
A Clash lo voy a ver en el móvil para ver. Bueno, no, ¿cuánto tiempo tenía que estar? O sea, solo ponía estar en el chat.
Sí, entrar directo por la notificación de comunidad del juego.
Qué notificación.
146 as well of all the games played. So,
Por la pestaña de novedades.
Yeah, Gene has been incredibly dominant all
¿Entrar
year.
por ahí?
It has
Sí.
been one of the most picked brawlers. It's performed one of the best.
¿Y cuánto tiempo tienes que estar en el directo?
No sé, en teoría es entrar y estar un poco, digo yo.
But we're going to jump into our set.
Max,
No Gene just yet, but
Max
Max is
Barley y
finally
Jackie,
making an appearance as
no
well
sé.
in this series.
Pero
Contra.
escucha,
Max coming in is a great attribute for sure for
escucha.
already good pressure. Oh, no, Marcel's running
¿Cómo?
in. She's got the
Pero no vale buscarlo en el buscador y
Goes for,
entrar.
No, pues si no, no te lo dan. Es como si entras a un vídeo cualquiera.
He was thinking about maybe Hagego and then got
Vale,
bought out
Pero
by,
¿cómo entro
by,
entonces? ¿Qué
Trading
notificación?
Cards.
Pues vas a donde ponen novedades en el juego y entras. Te carga y te pone en vivo lo de Championship.
¿Y cómo sabes que es así?
No sé, ¿será porque lo dijeron en los sneak peeks y todo? No sé. Vale. Marcel. Casi se matan a 1000, creo. Es más, casi muere Marcel.
Pero no es Marcel.
No, es Marcel. El que está jugando. Se pilla la Max muere.
Tía Torre.
El Surge está muy tocado.
Púrala.
Y el robot para INTZ. A ver, Hagego, yo creo que es la mejor Max del mundo.
No, es Case, es Curse.
A ver, Hagego o Curse también.
Curse. ¿Tú has visto cómo juega con ella?
¿Qué paliza está dando INTZ a Júpiter? ¿Cómo se notan? Aparte de los nervios, vamos.
¿Me estás contando que ese banco de Magic ya ahora se va a
De momento tiene pinta, porque la primera partida va para INTZ. Aún quedan 2 partidas más. Y si las ganan, se va Júpiter al lobby.
Voy a meterme el directo de la manera que me dijo Foxy.
Novedades.
There weren't a lot of options there for Jupiter once it came down to the last siege, and they already started hemorrhaging members.
Es que te envía, a mí me envía a Twitch, qué crack.
Es que te envía Twitch al canal de Álvaro.
¿Y por qué?
What?
Tengo que dar en directo. ¿Y ahora dónde le tengo que dar?
Ahora
en vivo,
sí, ahora dejaré que te cargue. Y quedaste por lo menos 5 minutos. Digo yo. Dime que no fui el único.
Vale,
que vio.
escucha. A mí me aparece de una manera, pero me aparece el directo de Marceo. Y me aparece que le tengo que dar a explorar y le doy a videojuegos y me pone para ver el directo de Marceo.
A mí me ha enviado a Twitch.
Dudo ni idea de
Siege.
A mí me envió al canal de Álvaro.
Pero ¿cómo hay que hacerlo? Explícame.
Ah, espera.
And more damage going the way of INTZ. Spike and Tick making a return.
Spike is a great solid shout of defense. That gap
¿Quieres que ir adentro del juego?
When it comes to getting a quick and swift takedown, and Marcel and Hagego just juking this one out. Marcel's going to pick up the bolt, but can he
A la pestaña de novedades.
Yeah, he will do so.
Okay, level 2 siege bot for Jupiter. Same story as we saw in our first
Ah,
game.
vale, ya sé.
See what they can convert into it.
Ya te llevo al canal de Álvaro, ¿no?
Track to hit
¿De ahí?
that max upgraded level.
Y te llevará
porque
In the
te
face of
manda al
Max,
canal de
Hagego
Álvaro.
will get taken out. Now hitting the max level, will heal up in the brush as they look to deal with the level 2
Okay.
siege bot. Won't get the same connection it had before.
Spike está
Will
muy
get a
roto,
couple
tío.
of ticks of damage before being taken out.
Popping pin cushion from Guidi to get that early takedown, and only then.
Novedades. Final mundiales día 1 en vivo.
For control, Hagego going in as well with a nice super to pick up the 2 bolt. But now Ticky, come on.
Ojo, la cabeza de Macías se mata a Hagego. Pero
¿por qué hay tanta gente en el directo de Álvaro?
por el ping. seguro.
Segunda
Segunda partida. No, aún no se llevan la partida. Aún no se llevan la partida.
Pero yo ya estoy en el directo de Álvaro, ahora cuánto tiempo tengo que estar.
No sé, creo que tiene que estar algo. A ver, de momento esto pinta... Si Júpiter gana la presión, es partida para... Y luego INTZ defiende bien, es partida para INTZ. Pero
por eso tiene tanta peña en el directo Álvaro, porque claro, para conseguir el pin tienes que estar en
nada, GG. Segunda partida para INTZ. Si ganan una más, Júpiter se va
para el lobby. Pero estáis viéndolo en Twitch, ¿por qué te dais donde os da?
No, yo no lo voy a estar, yo no estoy viendo desde Twitch, pero entre
acaban de perder justo ahora la partida, ¿no?
Sí.
One game separates them from their semi-final matchup tomorrow.
Ya están en partida.
No, a ver, pero... Porque...
Ese es Trevor.
Ese es Trevor, en serio.
¿Quién?
It's going to be a really tough mountain to climb here. They've got to get 3 consecutive
Me están vacilando.
siege
Me están vacilando.
Ese es Trevor.
¿Pero quién? ¿Dónde está?
En el directo de Álvaro. Ese es Trevor el que creo que...
So they're guaranteed to be walking away with a lot of prize pool for all their hard work this year over the course of the Brawl Stars Championship. But really, they want to be finishing. They want to double their money by winning our first place. But INTZ, they're jumping into our last game composition for Jupiter.
Pues madre mía, pero si soy un chaval.
Something a little bit different. We haven't seen them play on the stage so far.
Sí, sí que es Trevor, mira la voz.
INTZ, they're confident with what they're rolling. No
Mírale
changes
la
to their
voz.
composition.
Es que es Trevor ese pavo.
They're confident as they stand. Marcel's going to pick up that one. That's going to be bringing it back a little bit. Actually, I think this is going to be a potential push here for Jupiter if they can just maintain these bolts.
Ah, están perdiendo porque a Júpiter le va con delay. ¿Lo escuchas?
Sí, sí.
Es que claro, eso no es justo. Es como si juegan Clash contra esos y a los otros no les va delay y a Clash les va delay. ¿Tú quién crees que va a ganar?
¿Pero qué pasó? ¿A los de Júpiter les va delay?
Sí.
Obviamente, están jugando en otro server. Pero no ves que se están comiendo todas las cabezas. ¿Cómo no les va a ir delay? ¿Tú crees que son injusta es la vida.
Misjudgment when it came to the amount of aggression needed for the push itself, and I'm just noticing a pattern recurring.
Es que no da bala porque le va muy delay. Mírale la bala cómo le va a los de Júpiter. Es que es imposible jugar, yo reventaría el mundo.
No, a ver, yo lo reportaría esto porque... A ver...
Yo me quejaría, obviamente que me quejaría, tío, es injusto. ¿Ves? ¿Lo escuchaste lo que dijo Trevor?
Sí.
Es que claro, es lo que dijo Trevor, estás todo el puto año practicando para esto y es imposible ganar, o sea, no da, es imposible. Y los otros, claro, qué payasos son los otros, en vez de, yo qué sé, tío, cambiar, no sé. Y vacilando además, y el Surge vacilando además, ¿sabes? Qué payaso. Da mucha pena a los pavos esos.
Venga, Júpiter al lobby por delay.
¿Qué me jodería a mí? Es que voy a junto de ellos a su casa y se la quemo, literalmente, por vacilón.
Ah, y para...
En serio se merecía ganar esto, tío.
Bueno, ahora ya sabes quién viene, ¿no?
Sí, Clash.
Ahora se viene.
Está poniendo todo el mundo. ¿Cómo cojones ganó INTC? Y les puse yo, porque les va delay. Mira, Trevor, bro.
Well, now they do. Now they do.
A ver, entonces en teoría a Clash.
¿Sabes que no nos van a dar el pin?
Mechanically, there were some mistakes, like you pointed out, some over-aggression coming
¿Por qué lo
in
dices?
from
O nos
Jupiter
lo van a
at
dar.
times as well, but I
Que
felt a
nos lo
lot of
dan,
this
pero
was
aún hay
dictated
que esperar.
by Jupiter's reliance on tankier compositions, which
Una
INTZ
semana o
consistently had an answer for.
como mínimo.
Ahora Clash, ¿no?
Ahora hace Milan Clash contra River Red.
Pero yo creo que los de Júpiter son retrasados. Yo si fuera ellos pararía de jugar. O sea, todas las partidas me quedaría quieto para ver, para que los otros dijeran, claro, así no vale. O sea, están en unas condiciones. Pero si te das cuenta, INTZ puede ganar el mundial, porque si les va contra todos delay a los otros. Gana INTZ. Esto lo gana y te juro que yo dejo el
SK. De momento que se hayan clasificado están SK y INTZ. ¿Y cuál era el otro? Era los primeros que se enfrentaron.
Well,
Trevor
Frankie, that
is
was
gay, mira su
certainly
cara.
an impressive performance from our Brazilian players, despite a little bit of trash talk from the Jupiter squad
SK
earlier on.
y Codemagic, ahí fue SK que lo jugó muy bien, ¿sabes? Porque están en el mismo servidor.
Claro, pero tuviste la mierda de partido que jugó Júpiter porque no podía jugar, o sea, es que yo me despojo.
Guidu played an unconventional role in this last round, picking Spike 8
¿Qué
times
originalidad?
out of 10. His favorite brawler was
el Guidu.
certainly super effective.
¿Ves lo que dijo Álvaro? Que fuéramos al juego, le diéramos en vivo y ya nos llevaba aquí y nos daba el ping. Vale, ya lo tenemos, chavales.
Júpiter es muy buen equipo.
Último partido del día. Último partido del día.
Aún quedan, sin contar este, o sea, el de Clash contra Tribe, aún quedan 3 más.
Finals, they picked up a magnanimous
Yeah.
win and are going to advance to the semi-finals with a strong upset.
Well, thank you very much for your words of wisdom, Woody. And that means we've only
Estos fueron
got one
los
more
16avos.
quarterfinal left.
¿Viste lo que dijo Trevor? Que ganaría Clash. Vale. Lo que acaba de decir el puto Trevor.
Mira, lo que estamos ahora son los 16avos. What the fuck?
For weapon repairs, upgrades, or even a hug from Mama Pam.
What? Tengo miedo.
Mama Pam, I don't actually have a job after the grand finals tomorrow because that's the end of the season.
No,
so
dos.
you've got room for me at your garage. Give me a bell, all right? Let's take a
Ya,
look
pero
at
es
the
que
bracket
cobran por
and
ponerlo, ¿sabes?
see where
Pero
we're
si son
at.
anuncios
So we've
de...
had 3 quarterfinals
Si
now.
son
De la
animaciones que hacen
Find out
ellos.
who is going to be facing
De la Play 5 el anuncio ya.
INTZ. And when it
A ver.
comes to AC
No, de
Milan
Era.
Clash,
pero era
you
PS5.
don't want to
Vale,
underestimate
pues
these
son
guys. The 3
Clash
boys
contra
from Spain. They're playing in the same
Tribe.
space. They know each
Yo
other
aquí
so
creo que
well.
gana
They're day
Tribe.
one competitors
Clash.
and they have a phenomenal synergy.
A ver,
Acabas de decir que gana Tribe.
NA and North Latam
a ver,
representatives,
Acabas de decir que gana
they
Tribe.
love
no es que
to
desconfíe de
anti-strat,
Clash,
and
porque
there's
son buenos.
plenty
Chao,
of evidence out there of how Clash
No,
like to play.
en serio, tío.
But don't take my
No,
word
no
for
es
it
que
because
Pero
desconfíe
si
de
tienen al mejor
Clash.
jugador
the
del
boys
mundo,
themselves.
Clash.
Pero por delay, yo creo que por temas de delay.
Red es de los mejores equipos
Clash.
del mundo. Ya lo ha demostrado varias veces, ya
¿Quién
sea
se
en las
piró?
finales derrotando al segundo equipo mejor de Norteamérica, que es Tempestol. Y yo creo que este partido va a ser una final adelantada que se va a ver en cuartos de final.
So yeah, Clash, they're a very strong team. They're known as one of the best LAN event teams in the world. So
Ahí está Trevor.
obviously
F
they're a tough first opponent, but we're
por
gonna
mi
be
pana
ready for them.
fresco.
Yo creo que mi equipo sí está preparado para enfrentarnos a
Punk,
Red,
sí,
debido
estáis
a que
ahí los
llevamos
dos.
ya una
Sí.
semana y
Sí.
media practicando presencialmente, es decir, todos en la misma casa practicando, entrenando, echándole muchas horas al juego y yo creo que podemos sacar adelante este partido.
¿Quién es el Cory? Es el maricón ese, hijo de
Basically, we're just gonna do what we've been doing this whole time, where we prepare very well on every map. Have backup comps
es jugador y coach.
For Clash,
al igual que
study them and
Ignacio
figure
también
out how to play.
es jugador y coach.
Es que vamos a descansar.
Clash, we're coming for you, so be ready.
A ver.
Qué guapo está estar ahí, chaval. Estar ahí tiene que ser una puta locura, bro. Inmunes, Guille y Caos. Ay, si Trevor no lo hubieran echado, que Trevor es buenísimo. Pero tú conoces a alguno de Trevor.
Tri-Bread in this Atlantic showdown.
Pero
quite strong, and Tri-Bread, they seem
Toxic Tom no era de
for them. Have a look at your bans for this series. Carl and
Genio y
Gene
Carl.
being removed. Carl been
A ver,
super
ahora
important
dependiendo
at this final
de
so
los
far.
mapas.
Y no le banearon
Been
la
half the
BA
pick throughout the
que
entire
yo que
season.
es el mejor del mundo con
These
BA
are
y
some
nos la
great
banean.
bans, Trid. Absolutely. Gene is just
A ver, pero era o banear a Bea o
fantastic
banear al
ban.
genio,
Carl,
¿sabes?
with the
Porque
addition
Muniz
of his most
es muy,
recent
a
gadget.
ver,
Yeah,
Muniz es más de
get rid of
PAM,
Carl.
más,
I don't want him. I don't
más
want him up in
support.
my face, and then away from me, and then up in
A
my
ver,
face again.
yo aquí
Without a moment's notice.
un
We're
Brock.
gonna kick things off with Heist on
Brock lo van a llevar siempre porque está
You know what, Trid,
rotísimo.
I'm expecting Brock everywhere.
Right, we're going to put you in a safe zone away from Carl.
Además,
Apparently,
lo
you
están
just don't want
diciendo.
him anywhere near.
I don't want him in my face, and then
Brock,
away from me, and then in my face. It's everywhere.
Do we need to put you in a pocket dimension like we did with Woody just to protect you?
It might
De
be an
lado
idea.
yo
Right, okay.
llevaría
Well, we'll consider that as we.
10
I need
segundos.
you on the desk with me right now.
un Spike yo creo que
Ahora no
puede-
se llama
Before
Clash,
we
se
jump
llama
into this game.
QM. Se
So,
llama
as you
QM.
said, Falcone,
Se
expecting
llama
a bit
QM, ya no
of
se llama
block
Clash.
on this one, a lot of sightlines to play around, a lot of range to
Apa.
abuse.
Y le
What else
cambiaron
do we
el
see
símbolo, ya no es
following
Clash.
up with this matchup now?
No,
because
a
the
ver,
Heist is all about getting damage
te
onto
explico.
that safe, destroying it
En verdad el
faster
equipo
than
es
your
Clash,
opponent can destroy
normal.
your
Pero
own.
tienen este.
¡Vamos, Clash! ¡Empieza!
Porque es
Una
en la
AMI.
sede.
A
ver.
Y los Brock
What Tri-Bread
rompiendo.
are bringing,
Los
that's a
Brock
Pam, a
rompiendo.
Brock,
Sí.
and a
Para que
Spike.
sea
It's
más
just so
fácil.
funny, Trid, because the strategy used to be to jump over the walls with Brock and deal the damage. Now you just blast your way through it. Who cares? Muniz
No, tío,
already
Muniz.
going
¿Por qué
down
lleva ese
thanks to
gadget?
Corey's super gadget into Tyrant Star with the elimination.
¿Por qué
And
lleva ese
Tri-Red
gadget?
seems to have a nice early advantage here.
Nice advantage, only converting it into 7% safe damage for now.
Caos
So
muere.
not substantial, but the
Guille,
more they
muy
control
tocado.
Guille es uno de los mejores
opportunities
también
they're
del
gonna get to
mundo.
damage the
Guille es
safe.
buenísimo con
Muniz
Max.
under
Guille es
threat from
buenísimo con Max.
Zulan, Tyrant's moving up. Wants to get that healing
Caos
station
nunca lo vi
set
jugar
up
con goles.
aggressively
Yo,
so the team have a base to
Rico,
work
que Caos es
around.
el
Yeah,
mejor del
Tyrant took a
mundo con
little
Rico,
bit
sí.
too much
No sé por qué no
damage
se lo
down.
puso,
Still
porque como
taking
Spike se lo
damage
come
to
de
Max,
lateral.
who- Next change, Max not being banned. Just realized that's different.
No sé por qué
Corey
lleva
though
ese
gonna
gadget.
get rid of Guille's cover
Guille se tira el
entirely. Guille taking advantage of the new Max gadget.
No sé por qué lleva.
returning to full health.
No sé por qué lleva ese gadget.
Returning
No sé
to
por qué
full
lleva
health
ese
and
puto
that new
gadget.
location, but the kills are still coming in the same.
Delay.
Red. Tyrant under pressure
Tyrant
from IKEOS' super.
muere.
Will turn around and get the kill.
Están muriendo.
Lleva delay Clash.
Managed to
Lleva
get
delay
more
Clash.
damage onto
No.
the safe.
73%. It is creeping lower and lower, but regardless, Tribe are not
acabáis
conceding the
de
center
ver lo que le pasa
of the
aquí.
map. They're looking good as
Sí,
Tyrant
tiene
gets
delay,
that
tío.
healing
¿Y por qué
turret
lleva la
back
del
behind the
escudo
wall.
Caos?
That is, oh, in theory, that could do a lot of
Porque,
work, but
a ver,
Tyrant falls and the gadget
si lo hace muy bien,
takes
le
out
puede
the
hacer
healing
inmune.
The
turret.
empowered rocket coming in from Muniz to shut down the healing turret.
Le
Force
quita
back
muchísimo a la
Tribe
capa.
Red.
¡Vamos,
There's no damage
hostia!
coming in from IKEOS, but he's returning to the initial location. Incendiary was still there from the start of the super.
Le va
Takes a
fatal.
few ticks of damage.
Mira
Tyrant's
Muniz
left in the
cómo le
middle,
va.
throws the healing station aggressively, finds the damage onto Muniz. Now it's a team wipe in favor of Tribe Red, and once again, only converted to small ticks of damage on that safe. There's been no hefty damage so far.
It was a nice try from Colette there, constantly targeting the path.
Buena.
Takes Tyrant
Tyrant muere.
down, and now it's 3v2. Maybe.
Vale.
Yes.
Corey muere.
All right. Corey falls too. Maybe Clash can
Solo
get some
queda-
damage here. They don't
Bueno.
have long, but Muniz
Ya
and
vuelve.
Chaos together stepping
Por
forward.
lo
That's
menos dan
super.
Me
dos
pinta mal.
golpes en
Quite
torno.
make much contact with the safe, so this is the
14
final chance.
segundos.
We're going to send
No.
Colette in to try and burn it through. There's a 14% deficit.
Whoa.
They make that 16% deficit. They need to close down.
Está-
IKEOS
¡Vamos!
on the safe.
¡Vamos!
Damage coming in from
¡Vamos!
IKEOS. They dropped
Oh.
to below 1%.
No,
There's
¿qué pasa?
chance
No,
for a
no.
counterattack. And they
No.
see
¿Qué
Flash
pasa?
claw back the game win
Fue-
right at the end.
Fue Tribe a la caja, tío. Fue Tribe a la caja.
We couldn't see it, but there was damage being done to
come on.
At the last moment there, hopefully we'll get a replay of that moment.
¿Pero qué pasó allá abajo?
Let's have a look, see what happened here. Bring it up in the replay package.
Please, yeah. Oh my goodness. Because,
y el Brock de nuestro equipo, el Muniz, no llevaba la del cohete todo.
Going for the base race, apparently.
Yeah.
¿Pero qué pasó allá abajo?
Muniz sí que llevaba el cohete tocho.
Last tick of damage right there at the
¿Pero
end.
qué pasó allá abajo?
Either way,
tío?
that was a ridiculously close game.
Muniz sí que llevaba el cohete tocho. Si no, no habría podido romper el
lead. Chaos. Not looking too happy about that.
But still,
¿Y por qué cojones
Falcone,
no había nadie defendiendo abajo?
That last damage coming in for Tribe Red was the only thing that
Se
won
colaron
them
por
that game.
lateral y
They were
se
so close
jugaron.
to losing it as we jump into game number 2,
Por lo
already
menos
destroying
ahora.
the cover to open up the side lanes.
Al Galle por parte de
the max spike and Brock exactly what we expect.
Si te fijas,
Guille
llevan
Guille
diferentes
making some
habilidades
good
estelares las
progress
Max.
in the center of the map though. Guille is starting to take a little bit too much damage. Chaos and Zulan fighting on the right side. Not much happening there now.
Just going to trade out the spike damage, both rocking the Sakura skin.
¿Cómo falla el cohete tocho y Muniz?
DA will walk forward. That's an aggressive push there from Tyrant, who moved over to the max instead of the Pam. Gets line of sight on the safe. One burst of damage, and then will leave. Corey's opened up on the left, got line of sight on that safe. With the rocket ranger drop as well. A far more explosive start for either of these two teams.
Guille casi muere, está a 224 de vida. La espina de Spike le pasó rozando la cara.
Tyrant and Corey were popping gadgets left, right, center, but it was paying off. And now Zulan is doing the spike thing, dealing the damage. If you can get a little bit closer, pop that gadget, he can get some serious damage done there. But either way, Clash are struggling to keep control here.
Well, Guille's taking
Madre mía, no pueden hacer nada.
He's not going to be able to push up just yet. Has the super online for the speed boost, but Zulan will take him off from the side. There has been no answer back from AC Milan Clash this game, Dan. Tribe Red have just been incredibly dominant, and they've whittled the safe down to the last quarter of health.
They have.
¿Pero cómo se van a acercar, puta tontaos? Les va a delay.
They've shown that they've struggled this whole game to just get some semblance of control, but the whole time, Tribe Red have been dominating. That is it. With the incendiary rounds from the rocket, that is going to be GG once again. Tribe Red showing that they have got Heist very much under control. They know what they're doing here.
2 games won out of the 3 needed to take the set, so they are now at set point. One more victory. There has been adaptations from both teams to try and answer what each other is doing. Ultimately, Tribe Red coming out with the advantage. The change up to bring the max instead of the Pam enabled them to get into the safe range a lot faster. It was not this game. It turns out it's not about the sustain, Falcone. It's about the tempo, and that's exactly what Tribe Red are bringing to the table.
Once you fall behind in Heist,
pero qué sonríen, tío. Es que ya no deberían ni hacer nada, tío.
Because for all you know, the other team are going to attack through you and take your safe down. You need to play a very controlled push forward without letting anything slip through.
Ellos lo intentan pelear, pero
this time we're going to need
no podemos
AC
hacer nada con tanto delay.
to have a bit of a stronger early game. Maybe show
creo que
an early fight against Tribe Red.
Let's see what they bring to the
Pero lo dijo Trevor, que además ellos son tontos. Ellos son tontos, porque cuando Trevor estaba jugando con ellos también un competitivo anteriormente, les dijeron, les preguntaron si les iba a delay, porque creo que iban a repetir la partida. Y les dice, no sé quién les dijo, poquito, no mucho. Y claro, y dijo Trevor que no se podía ni mover. Imagínate.
They may end up just getting outranged by this
Y Chaos
competition.
también es muy bueno con
Coming in,
Chaos,
they've
no puede
lost 5
hacer
units in the mid.
nada. ¿Qué hace
That
Guille?
down Chaos is
No puede
pushing
mover.
further. The Tyrant will now lose their life. They're sitting ducks right now, Falcone.
Chaos needs to do
¿Por qué
something. He's sort of just
no
standing
tanqueó el
around at the
cohete
moment, trying to work out whether he's
con la
teleporting
pompa?
or not. In the
Bueno,
end,
chavales, olvidaros, Clash eliminado por culpa
Chaos
de
can move
unos hijos de
forwards,
puta
but I
ingleses
don't
de
know how
mierda
he's
que
going
no
to
tienen ni
survive
media
against
hostia,
the
que les
onslaught
gano
spike
yo
attacks. He
1
does
para 3.
teleport forwards, but he's still being outranged.
Surprisingly there with the
Qué pena da la
they're
otra
able to
más, que
hold
te
down the
mate
angle of the
Guille con
side. Guille
delay,
wins
es
that
que
duel in the
eso
left-hand
da
lane. This
pena,
is
la
finally the time for Clash to be able to get onto that safe. Crossfire onto Corey, won't find the kill, but does get a few ticks of damage on the safe to keep them competitive in this third game.
To start, but Chaos falling earlier as the surge means that we've still got level 1
La que ha liado el
which
virus,
is
hijo,
not where he wants to be at this point. And again, we seem to have our backs against the wall. Tried Red, dealing all of the damage.
Por el virus, esto
They will
estaría
push
siendo en
Zulan
Corea
away for now.
y en
Chaos
local.
is keeping him in check.
Yeah.
Going to try to lock
Local
them
ya
down, but the
estaría
health
todo-
regens
todo
come
mucho
in.
mejor.
Zulan can walk forward, face tank that damage because he's going to trade him out instead. Going to have gear on the left-hand
Pero
side.
no ves que no pueden hacer
51%
nada.
HP left for the Clash safe, and they've
Una
not dealt enough to
contraseña-
Tribe Red
ya lo
as we
suelten
head
para
down to the
esta mierda, tío.
sub-1-minute mark.
La
It
encontré
is
sin ser
time
de
to
tonterías.
act now, Clash. Corey
Yeah.
falls.
Es que-
Tyrant Star is getting weak.
Sinceramente,
This
yo-
could be
Es que si
the
gana una
push for
partida Clash,
Three
si
players
Clash gana una
all
partida
alive.
yo,
How much damage
es
can
que
they
yo
deal
eliminaría a
in these
esos por
last 49
mancos.
seconds?
Porque
No, Muniz is having
no
to
ganarle a
retreat
una
because the
AP,
spawns have
ya sé
come
que son
in.
buenos,
They had
pero que
bodies on
mira,
the
es que no
map
puedo
down,
hacer
but
nada.
they didn't have the
Tuviste lo que
HP
hace
because the
Guille.
spawns were coming in. They would just end up dying anyway. That push could have been big for them if they were just a little bit healthier. And Chaos has lost his stacks
que
once
en
more.
verdad, cuando
Guille
tienes delay,
making a
tienes que hacer
beeline for the
más-
save. They could go for the base phase here, but I feel I know who would win that
más
one out.
mayor predicción,
Tyrant
¿sabes?
takes
Es
out
como si
Guille,
a todo rato,
line of sight available for Tribe,
como si estuvieses
and that
con un
is
tic,
surely
¿sabes?
going
Porque
to
el
be
tic es
our
que están
third
haciendo
game
los
of this
predicts.
set. A rocket
Por
rain,
el tema
a bit
de
of
que
damage
tarda
from
2
Zulan will
segundos
seal the
en-
deal. Open shots on them,
caer las
and there we
minas.
go. Tribe Red.
Que
going to be
parece que
taking
Clash
our
es malísimo,
first
pero es
set
que no
of this
puede jugar.
series.
Clash just being dismantled at the end of that game. They could not get a grip on the center. Tyrant, little nod there from Tyrant Star, but ultimately the team don't look too happy yet, and quite right too. They've still got so
Ay,
much
qué
work
pena
to
me da
do
esto, tío.
before we call them our last semi-finalists.
Absolutely, they will be going forward to face INTZ, or more accurately, the winner of this
Ah,
series.
es que Atraco
will go and do that
tampoco es que sea el punto
tomorrow's
fuerte de Clash también.
semi-final. We whittle down our teams from 8 to 4.
Igualmente,
just like
yendo delay ganaba todo.
Yo me conformo con que ganen un set, tío.
If Tribe Red were to win this, we'd have representatives from 4
Pero
different
quedar
regions
eliminado ya,
in the
Clash,
semifinals.
tío.
I think that's pretty cool.
That would be good. We were
porque
expecting a lot
Zolan-
of Europe domination, a lot of Asia domination as well when it came round to this
Porque Zolan
tournament. And to
se
see
pone así a
well,
aplaudir como...
be split
Siempre
so
buenísimo
evenly
el
across the
Hitch.
globe. Like you said, it'd be great to see.
Yeah.
Sí que
very
es bueno el
exciting. Here's
puto
some stats
inglés de
for
mierda
your
ese.
Trid, and yeah, Tribe Red dealing more
Hombre.
damage, getting more eliminations, and
Y como
most
para
importantly,
no creérselo,
dealing more
tío,
damage
es
to the
que
enemy safe.
Yeah, that's what it's all about when it
estando
comes round
con
to
Clash con
heist by
delay,
about
porque
3
además
times
no sé si no lo
the
están jugando
amount
desde...
what
Qué
AC
guapa la
Milan
figura de
Clash are
Leo.
able to deal
Ya, sí,
themselves. We get a nice
que además
sweeping shot
creo
of
que lo están
Leon
jugando
before we
desde
move on to our
Italia.
next map.
Entonces,
Minecart
bueno,
Madness,
bueno,
Gem Grab,
no
one of
sé,
my favorite maps coming up.
You love this,
fíjense.
don't you, Trid?
I love it
Espera,
because I wish, the only thing I wish about this map, Dan, is that
El
we
set
could
5, ese
have a
mapa yo
stat
nunca
that
lo vi,
tracked the amount of damage that the minecart.
Ya.
Because I always love to see
Voy a ver
how
qué mapa
teams
puede ser.
get deceive
No puede ser el
themselves or
mapa.
outplay themselves to the RNG
Es el
environment.
de gemas.
Yeah,
No,
it can definitely
el
have
set
some
5.
fun. I saw a player in a tournament a while
El de
back.
balón.
No,
Activate Pete as
el
Nani
de
while
caza.
standing
That's
on
it.
the tracks, and just
Ah, vale.
about to get the elimination.
Caza.
No, got stunned out of it by the,
Ya.
the car.
Oh, no.
It happens. We got Brock, Max,
Empezaron la
Colette
partida.
versus Sprout, Pam, and Max. So very different comps. Only
Combo
the
de
the
Colette,
same
Max,
between the two.
Max
You know
Brock
what? I
de
actually have
parte
a
de Clash,
bug to- I have a gripe with Ark. And that is that ever
Pam,
since he
Sprout
cosplayed with the
y
skin of
Max de
Tyrant
parte de
choosing, I
Tribe.
can't see Pam in any way other than how Ark looks.
Pero que no pueden jugar.
Because of what he did. Bless his charitable efforts, but blimey, it does
Muchas
cause some
gracias.
disturbing scenes.
All right, that is going to be an early control.
Ah, vale.
Try being assisted
El
by the
mapa
minecart right now,
sobresaliente.
keeping Clash back. And Clash are going to need to get a
No
more successful version of that.
pueden
Yeah, he takes so
jugar.
much damage
Que
against
se
Tyrant Spark.
repita el
Chaos
puto
also
mundial.
getting low in health. And with the minecart appearing again, Tribe are going to have a little bit more time. Although now if they want to retreat, that's being blocked. I don't think they're looking to retreat though.
Sí, Guille no da balas, tío.
And this is a really tough spot
Que
with
mira,
the new map. 'Cause obviously Minecart
si-
Madness is
si
updating
por-
throughout the
si
year,
por
adding
una
the
vez
ropes in which you can shoot through,
el
you can't
host
move
fuese
through. Gives less
en-
opportunity for Tyrant to put the healing turret
fuese aquí
down
en
in a
España,
forward position.
¿sabes?
You can see that's why it's so far back.
Acabáis de
Because
ver
there's
esa
no
bola.
cover to
Sí.
play around, that it's really easy
Pero
for
qué
Clash to be able
cojones,
to
si
take
salió
that
la
out
otra
and put
punta.
further forward.
Lo puedes hacer tú
Gems, that is 10 gems
What the fuck, quedó chulísimo. La bola salió disparadísima.
Otra bola más. Y le da Guille, tío.
Vaya pena me da eso.
Es que mira, era para reclamar este partido, ¿sabes? Para reclamar este partido y que se haga que se haga, pero con España de host. Porque seguro que el host está en Estados Unidos, en América. Segurísimo.
Pero viste dónde salió la pelota, que salió de una esquina.
Ya.
Put some fear into a newly morale-boosted INTZ after their upset victory over Jupiter.
Tío, me da una
Clash
pena.
are a really interesting team to me because we've been watching Clash all year, and I say this with love.
Que no pueden estar haciendo nada por
They tend to show
puñetero
up and
delay.
do really well in some monthly finals, and then other monthly finals they won't show up at all. And you know, those times their performance leaves a lot to be desired. What's it going to be today, Trid? Are they going to pick it up and suddenly go all the way, or are they going to fall to Tribe Red, as this match seems to be saying so far?
If I had a coin, Dan, I'd flip it.
Yeah.
I don't have one on me. Not really a cash guy these kind of days.
No.
Or contactless as the rest of the world is.
Probably a bit safer right now, yeah.
Probably a lot safer right now, you're absolutely right. But the point still stands as it is a bit of a coin flip. What Clash turns up on the day. We'll also add in the caveat, as we have to when we're making any assessments. This is online play. One or more of these teams may suffer some kind of delay, which would affect their performance as well.
Esperamos para el año que viene. Sí, el año que viene no te jode, pudiendo haber
To
ganado.
me, looks like a bit of a slambulance with the Mortis variant that we sometimes see.
Yeah,
¿Qué hace
I
Guille con
always love to
Mortis?
see it. Mortis is actually a very powerful brawler when used correctly. Difficult to play.
A ver, la Bibi de Chaos
But,
muy
yeah,
buena,
Mortis can do a lot of work. And
Muy
Clash
bueno.
has managed to push forward this time.
Ya lo sé, pero no es mejor del mundo.
A ver,
Nunes comes in with the
de
heals
momento,
and is actually going to take
no,
out the spike.
iba a decir algo,
Mortis
pero
falls on the other
mejor
side,
no
though.
digo nada.
So it is 2v2.
Pero ¿cómo quieres que gane? A ver, tío, ¿cómo es que es imposible?
Es que mira, Chaos, aún al ser bueno con Bibi, aún puede hacer algo, tío.
Y lo que morir.
No, a ver, por lo menos está metiendo presión. Aunque muera, por lo menos mete presión, tío. Bueno, por lo menos se mata el Spike, Guille.
Tribe Red seems to have the control. Nunes getting in the way, but now the minecart is in his way. Chaos appears with his bubble, but can he do anything on his own? Not really.
Not really by himself. He's not got the angles. He needs Guille to be able to get healthy and come up. But look how much damage Guille takes on the entry. The dash away there from the gadget from Max.
Muy buen gadget
Playing that so well to stay alive.
Hey, where are you going?
Zulan will be able to take them out. While that's going on though, the more they can force a fight away from the gem spawn, it makes it easier for Munez to just walk in and grab 3 gems to keep them competitive. But when it comes to the 3v3 and everyone's back, Tribe Red are just winning these duels.
Mira cómo está jugando Guille y eso que llevamos.
Contra Guille, el con Mortis, y a ver, ¿por qué va con randoms? Porque si no le ganaba, pues si no me ganaba. Te lo digo en serio.
Okay, I thought for a second Guille had something going on there.
No, it doesn't look like it. 9 gems to
Llega
7.
a ir o bien solo,
which means that the 10th
o
gem
bien...
they can go and grab that and get out.
Pero ¿qué hace
AC
Muniz,
Milan
tío?
Clash
Tiró
can
la
stay
cura
on
tarde
top
por
of
el
the
delay.
spawner and try and counter it with the 10th gem themselves. They've got the time to be able
con
to
que
do
pille ahora
that. So it does mean the Tribe have to go aggressive. They're not finding the kills, but now you've got yourself a
Que no,
3v2
que ya
on the
está,
spawn
que ya.
location. They can contest this, take away the redemption, get the kill, and Tribe Red will close out game number 2.
Again, very dominating performance. I mean, shout out to the Poco in that game, right? We saw some great things there from Munez. Just always finding himself just about in these safe positions, gathering those gems bit by bit, almost tying up the gem score, but it wasn't quite meant to be. And now Clash have got to be starting to sweat now if they haven't been already.
Tranquilo, que el karma existe. Los pavos esos se van a perder en la siguiente, así que tranquilo.
And then they are on the home stretch to our semi-finals tomorrow.
It's not where you want to be.
Lo que tenían que hacer era que se repitiese el partido, pero con España de host. ¿Sabes?
Claro.
Y así, el que consiga mejores stats,
Pero ¿por qué no llevan los dos? ¿Por qué no llevan los dos delay y solo lleva uno?
Porque el host, la partida amistosa está creada en el servidor de América.
¿Y por qué son tan tontos ellos y no la crean ellos?
Porque no la crean ellos, la crea el propio Supercell.
as they take control of the mid early, and they're going to position Corey fast to get this damage and that super up. Tyrant pushing
Y que te toque de líder, eso es suerte,
into their own spawn room, and this is a very aggressive turret placement that we've not been able to see so
Va a
far.
sorteo que se haga el host, pero es que...
Again, just looking good for Tribe Red, isn't it? Aggressive for Tyrant. Tyrant
Chaos
staying alive there.
casi se mata a la PAM. Es más, se la mata.
Se la mata.
Just about evading the minecart.
Por eso está metiendo presión.
We're taking him to a very dangerous spot if he would have got tanked by the minecart there.
Ahora va y dice Guille. Que era coña, cabrones, no íbamos delay. Mira la paliza que vamos a pegar.
Force them away. Doesn't quite get the isolation onto Guille, but forces them out as more gems are going to be collected towards Tribe Red. This is going to be their 8th just popping out of the spawner. 2 more, and they begin the countdown to their 2nd set win.
Once again, it just all seems to be going their way. Tyrant and Guille trade, and now that is 11 gems for Tribe. All they need to do is back off, and the minecart is helping them do that. If they can deal with this fight, which as a team they can, things are looking good, and there you have it. Guille does fall to the team.
So Guille actually got caught by the minecart RNG there, split out of the fight.
Sets
Wasn't able to get in with the rest of the team, so when he enters staggered, there's a little bit of
porque por nivel no es y se ve bien. Clash tiene mucho nivel.
So the minecart did actually make a difference there at the end. The Tribe Red forces over the match point. They now lead the series 2-0.
Yeah, they gotta be feeling good about this. 1 set away from being your 4th semi-finalists, and we are going to move on to Siege on Junk Park in just a few moments. I think before that, we'll see some stats as usual, and just see how dominating Tribe Red were like.
So the gem swing was actually heavily favored in Tribe Red. I can already tell that one because we didn't see a lot of gems go in the favor. Yeah, they've over doubled them. That's fine.
Look at the damage too.
Pretty brutal. Like you said, damage is looking in the double range as well. That's a lot of difference in favor of Tribe Red. And one of the things I'm noticing about the teams that are often dominating so much is we're not seeing in the last so far, Tribe Red aren't adapting when they don't need to. They're running out with similar compositions when they're winning. It's why you're seeing free picks and free game sets on certain brawlers where they only adapt ever so slightly just to make sure they're not leaving themselves vulnerable to the playstyle that their opponents are rolling out with.
Well, here we go. It's time for Siege Trade, and honestly, anything can happen in Siege. Taking control of the start of the game does make a huge difference. Here we go, though. It's going to be Barley, Sprout, and Spike.
Vale, mira, ahora que por lo menos lleva segundo gadget.
Brock and Max. Very different compositions, completely different.
Absolutely. Guille all just dodging out that curveball there will net themselves that bolt. Early lead for Clash. Here's a quick comeback from Tribe Red to match the bolt so far. Oh, didn't get that second one back just in time, so we see a level 2 Siege bot in favor of Clash. But Tribe Red should be able to deal a lot of damage to this before it gets anywhere close.
Amber falling when Chaos fell was unfortunate. It didn't make too much of a difference, and now we're going to see Chaos do what Amber likes to do best, which is deal as much damage as possible in a short period of time. Amber also spreading oil
El primer robot fue para Clash y no me disgusta.
In the fight for this next siege.
Yeah, you step up, you ignite the oil, that's a lot of residual damage being left around. As Chaos will look to bank another bolt, trying to match Tribe Red's lead. Guille will go ahead and pick up that 4th bolt.
Guille pilla 2 tornillos. Pilla otro.
Bank more of these bolts in their favor, but Tribe Red
4-4,
they're able to still keep up with them, and it's a siege.
Oh my goodness, it's a tie, so it all comes down to this next siege. And Guille falls, that is a disaster. Chaos going to light up Zulan and take control of the left side of the map. But Amber falls, and that spells disaster for Clash.
Se esquiva los dos.
They're able to pick up these bolts, though. Still going to tie out again. If this falls to a draw, Falcone, Clash will still win because they got that first siege, they got that early tick of damage, and I don't know if Tribe Red can match it. So a draw is not going to be enough for Tribe Red. They have to go for the win. They're currently sitting on a 1-bolt advantage, but they're not banking it. They're too focused on forcing the rest of Clash away.
Oh my gosh.
He can't go down here. They need to find a couple more bolts because Chaos is going to stay alive. They need to find a kill onto them or they might just lose it here.
That'll do it, that's a tie!
Otro empate, otro empate.
It's a tie, which means now Tribe Red need to push the enemy ice.
Si ahora consiguen otro empate más, Clash gana la primera partida.
15 seconds left. If he goes down here, it might be over. Not in range to be able to do it. Wants to throw it over the
Ojo.
No.
Fuera.
One more attack to do it.
So close. So close.
Clash gana la primera partida. No me lo creo.
2% difference, all in it.
No me lo creo. Clash gana la primera partida con delay. Clash gana la primera partida con delay. No me lo creo. No me lo creo.
Really mattered in the end, as there were 2 percentage points in it. Oh my goodness. Anyways, big congratulations for AC Milan Clash getting their first point on the board.
Able to get that first game, and it's going to mean a whole world to them to be able to break the downward spiral they've currently been sat in. It was very close. Tribe Reds nearly pulled away with it one. Probably going to see some changes from them. Like I said, they were constantly relying on compositions where they were winning. Well, that wasn't a win, and also it was far closer than they probably wanted. So now you see the change coming in.
Cambio en la alineación de Tribe.
For Tribe.
Ahora está ahora hay una pan contra. Otra reventadita más.
Tyrant Star just tore through Amber that time.
Otra reventadita más.
It is Tribe that are in control.
Oye, que
Clash needs to perform the miracle
se mata la
to get
PAM
this back.
solito,
Zulan hanging out on the right side, gonna bank the first bolt for the next push.
Whoa.
Here we go.
Vuelven a
How
tener
much
el
damage
otra vez.
will they deal? It's gonna be all about keeping control for the next siege. Amber just
drop
managed to
muerto.
eliminate Corey through the siege bot. That was pretty nice.
Yeah, going to be able to spray that damage through. It just doesn't stop when it hits that target. It's one of the strengths of Amber.
Está la PAM que le
still
está
coming in
metiendo
for
presión
Tribe Red.
a Caos y no
21%
deja
so far.
avanzar.
They hold the mid, they hold the bolt lead. It's all looking Tribe at the moment, Dan.
It is Tyrant Star staying alive nicely thanks to the healing turret. Munez with the Rocket Rain is going to deal a lot of damage to Corey. Zulan also weak. In fact, Tribe
Muniz casi se hace la doble, pero nada.
Chaos and Munez so weak that they couldn't
Salvo
make that
que ahora
final
se
push on
pongan.
Zulan.
Salvo que ahora pillen muchísimos tornillos. Están
3 bolts lead is going to be cut down. It's still level 6 in favor of Tribe Red. So AC Milan Clash, they will have 6 bolts to roll over to what could be the final siege. Have to make sure they don't lose out here. Chaos goes down very early to the incendiary damage that was there from Brock. No one's left to defend this one. This is going to be a huge push from Tribe Red. As they bring it below 20%, they can go for the finish right here, Dan, and there you go. Tribe Red clap back and tie out the set.
Yeah, it felt like Chaos tried to push a little bit too far forwards with Amber there. Obviously, Chaos was trying to eliminate Brock again through the siege bot, but unfortunately, he did get taken out very quickly, meaning that he couldn't be as defensive as perhaps he needed to be, and ultimately Tribe Red were able to take that one down. Although I am enjoying seeing Amber Trid, I've got to admit.
Yeah, it's good use to get the most out of the newest brawler before Lou comes in. Not able to be in competitive so far, but then we'll obviously see more of that chaos in the ladder as the weeks go by.
Yeah, I think Lou comes out when the new season arrives in just a couple days, so very excited for that indeed. But right now, I'm a little bit more excited to see the rest of this match. Can AC Milan Clash win Siege and extend this match further? We're going to find out. The next game of Brawl starts now. There's a ball in the house.
Interesting. We really don't see a lot of ball outside of Heist, where we see them charge in and go for the safe and take control. It's a lot of HP to build through, but you've got a spike on the field. Sprout can deal the damage quite safely, and Max can really kite around the ball as well. So there's going to be a lot of problems for Clash in this matchup compositionally.
If I'm not mistaken as well, Chaos just used Bull's first gadget, the heal, as opposed to Stomper, which I'm a little bit surprised by, because one of the reasons Bull sees a lot of play at the moment is because of that Stomper gadget. Either way, Tribe are pushing, and they're pushing hard. Munez dealing as much damage to the siege bot as he can, but it doesn't matter. Look at the damage coming in.
Oh, that's one of the reasons why you pick a comp like this, Falcone. You just need to get in with one good push, and you just absolutely melt the safe. You melt any target. Sprout and Spike, so good at dealing that damage, and Max can help them get in and out of the fight quickly. Next siege going to be in 20 seconds. Mid control goes over to Clash very temporarily because the counterattack from Tribe is there. and they force them away. Bolt lead hugely in favor of Tribe Red once more, and this is looking very much like game number 2.
It is indeed 56% already
Clash.
down AC Milan Clash. Level 7 Siege bot. They need to defend this. If they do, they could still win this game. It's possible. But Zulan and Tyrant Star are pushing and pushing hard. Guille trying to push Tyrant Star back with some success.
And you can see where the focus is as well. They want the Siege bot, but they don't want Zulan anywhere near that Ike. They're happy to let Tyrant potentially get some damage in, but they know Zulan is the heavy hitter. Keep them away. Don't let them get in. 20 seconds remaining. Clash have a Bolt lead. They're denying the central Bolt right now in the middle of all of those walls. Start to pick up. Tribe Red want to claim it back. If AC Milan Clash are able to make the bolts online, hold this lead, their last siege has to hit them 60% HP, but Tribe Red have already banked and made up the difference. There is no way Clash come back. The tires come in. They cannot reclaim that damage, and Tribe Red take us to set and match points.
Oh no, I think that ticks to 8 bolts literally at the last moment, tying up the siege. AC Milan Clash's hope falling from them so quickly, but they've still got a chance. It's all going to come down to the next game.
It would definitely be then going out for the full reverse sweep if they were to bring back from this point. Dan, it's a tall order. At the head, at the top of the series, we heard a few words from AC Milan Clash, and they said they think Tribe Red are one of the best teams in the world. Their assessment appears to be correct because they are getting trounced right now.
They are indeed. We've seen amazing things from Tribe Red throughout the year, formerly known as Omen Elite. If you didn't recognize the name, that's the reason. And Omen Elite dominated month after month after month. Now, as Tribe Red, they are not disappointing us.
Absolutely not under the new banner of Tribe. Final game coming up shortly. This could be the ticket home for AC Milan Clash and an express ride to our semi-finals tomorrow for Tribe Red.
All right, here we go. Potentially the final game of the day. Surge, Brock, and Max for AC Milan Clash versus Max, Sprout, and Spike. Again, these teams going with very different compositions. Zulan falls immediately to Brock's gadget, though. Munez playing on point so far this game.
Tyrant was able to grab that, going on the hunt for iChaos, doesn't want to let him get online, backs another bolt, favor of Tribe Red, wants to get this other one in the back left corner, has to dash away, still will find the kill, but it's Clash who gets that first siege bot. Now they've done this before, and it's folded back on top of them. Typically when Clash has got that first siege bot, they do end up coming out with the win.
You really need to see Chaos leveling up that surge. We've not seen many high-level surges yet today, and it's not been great for the surge players. 4% damage dealt to it, it really isn't much, and somehow Tribe have managed to take control back. Chaos and Corey are both...
No, ya paso de ver, ya
Zulan wins out the right-hand lane as well. Tyrant and Zulan are going to be accruing these bolts. Next season, 15 seconds. It's still redeemable for AC Milan Clash if they were to bank every bolt that spawned, but I don't see it happening now. The lead is just extended even further for Tribe Red. They're thinking about that final siege and their defense against Tribe Red.
Salvo que repitan la partida.
AC Milan, they're all getting eliminated. They can't stop the enemy brawlers from pushing. This could be a one and done deal. Although Tribe is sitting back, they're playing it safe. They're going to guarantee they win the next siege.
Don't need to. iChaos has to go aggressive there. Gadget over the wall. Make sure they keep the members of Tribe Rid away. Like you said, force out an opportunity for a last siege rather than losing it there. But they've used a lot of resources just to stay in this one. They're now going to be walking forward, and hopefully we'll look to get on the board and into the center control. Tribe Red have already taken the lead with the bolts. This is not conducive to you winning on a last siege.
It's not looking good, Trid. Tyrant Star seems to be winning in this fight against Chaos. The super was a reversal though, but still there are now 6 bolts difference.
It's over.
Final siege is going to go Tribe Red's way. They are your 4th semi-finalists.
They will be going through to tomorrow's semi-final up against the upsetting Warriors, the INTZ lineup, the boys from Brazil, for a chance at the final tomorrow. We say a goodbye to AC Milan Clash, and it proves in this one microcosm, this one vertical slice, Dan, that for once, NA is better than EU.
Oh, that's a little bit of a push. Doesn't necessarily represent my opinions or arcs. Either way, I've enjoyed following AC Milan Clash all year long. They've been doing a fantastic job. Both entertaining us and also kicking some serious butt. I've no doubt they're going to be back with a vengeance next year.
It's unfortunate that, of course, we were experiencing some delays between these two teams as well. That's just the nature of online competition. But you know what? I'd rather have this happening right now instead of delaying it and potentially delaying the next year's.
Yes.
We already know that is around the corner.
Exactly. Let's try and end this thing with a bang and then start next year strong as soon as possible. Completely agree. And I'm sure AC Milan Clash is going to be very keen to get into next year as well. And Tribe, though, looking over the moon. Here's the stats. And again, Tribe Red just outperforming AC Milan Clash in every single way.
Damage, kills, bolts. What more could you want? Tribe Red, they're going to round out our top 4. Let's throw it over to Frankie to close out the day.
Thank you so much, Trid and Frankie, and of course, Art, congratulations on some epic casts today, and congratulations to our teams. But we're going to talk about that final quarter-final of the day. So, Woody, are you there?
I am here, Frankie, and congratulations on a Tribe win. They have slain the Dragon. Clash eliminated Tribe in the EU region, but Tribe recruited a killer crew in North America and have done it. They'll be moving on to the semifinals. And in my opinion, it's due in part, largely, to the MVP, Corey. Corey snuck ahead in set 1 with perfect aim to follow up victory, a really crushing victory to start things off. His area denial as Brock with that incendiary start power was massive, and he was always unpredictable with quick fire shots at a variety of targets. You never felt comfortable anytime you got within range. And Jim Grab, Corey was not just the gym carrier, but a firm barrier against the waves of offense from AC Milan Clash. He held the weight of the world on his shoulders, just like Atlas, and played perfectly at the edge of his opponent's range to maximize his own damage while staying safe behind his wall of obstacles. Besieged in game 1 of Siege, Tribe accomplished the reverse sweep by picking up momentum using the same calls every single time. I gotta imagine it was thanks to the calls by Corey on the back end.
Well, Woody, I'm curious. Do you think you know who's going to take the title tomorrow?
Total, ya no van a poder.
Wow, that is a big question. But as someone who woke up at 2 a.m. this morning to get ready for this match, I'm going to hope